Go live. Do the audio check. All usual shit. Ugh. You might be like, wow, camera? That's new. It's actually not new. It's very old. I haven't done camera in a while because I noticed it kept lagging behind the stream and it would be really distracting and annoying. So I've just been going without it. Now I'm only having it on for a temporary bit to show people what they've been
Today,
missing.
not tomorrow.
Shut up! I just wanted to do the audio check. I didn't want to be yelled at. Because Alright, we got the right microphone. Because without the camera, we don't get our frequent Hazel Basil appearances. And Hazel's down there on the ground. And we could make her a central part of this show. But I don't think people even want to see her. Because so far, we have had extremely muted reactions to the concept of Hazel Basil reappearing on this stream and gracing you all with the presence. See, Fat Kid at Recess doesn't even care about Hazel. Shirayuki is curious about Dog. Like, I don't think anybody even wants to see the dog. And that's fucked up. So in about 2 minutes, we're going to turn the camera off and we're going to cover Warhammer. But between now and then, if you want to see a dog, you gotta get excited about the dog. Dog, boring, cat would be Poggers. I actually don't know where the cat is. He's probably napping at this time of day. Alright, well, you guys figure out your collective shit. I'm gonna go see if the cat is in a retrievable location. Moo cow. Found him. Oh. Hey, bud. Napping in the sun? You napping in the sun, little buddy? This is Moo Cow. Oh, Hazel's getting jealous. Because we're not paying attention to her. This is little Moo Cow. He's a good boy. My little 14-year-old man. He's getting older. He's getting some brain issues. He's having issues keeping his balance, but for now he's a good boy. Yeah. You my good boy? Oh. He's like, you just woke me up. I don't want kisses. I want to be left alone. You just want to be returned to your sunny spot, don't you? You're like, I had a good sunny spot. It was a nice sunny spot. Ugh. Yep. And he's gone. Alright, your turn.
Hazel! Come here! What are you doing? Stand up so it's much easier to pick you up. Come here! What is this? Who is this doggy?
Hey, my chair got turned around. Oh!
Who's this pupper? Who's this puppy? Yeah! Yeah!
Hazel went for a big walk this morning. Very long walk. And we ran around in the park, which was fun. And we met another puppy, which was fun. He came out of nowhere. We didn't expect to see another puppy, but there he was. And he was nice. And then you came home. And you napped. Yeah?
You a little napper? Yeah. Little nappy dog.
So this is Hazel. We haven't had enough dog and cat on the stream. Because the camera's been off. Which I'll turn the camera off when we get streaming here, but just wanted to open the stream. Let everybody know that Hazel's still a good pup. Who is very silly. Look at her! Look at this fucking position she's laying in. Look at this. This is nonsense. Alright, pup. Go on! Uh-oh. She doesn't want to get up now. She's just stuck here. Okay, I guess this is the stream now. I guess we're just stuck here with the fucking dog. You good, bud? Well, now you're wagging your tail. Hi. Hi. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, you're tipping. Alright. Go on, bud. Go on. Yeah, I know. You love snuggles, but we got a thing to do. He's like, you started this. Dad, why are you kicking me out now? Dad, you started it. Dad. Hi, buddy. You're good. Okay. Go lay down. Go on. Go on. Yeah. Alright, no more camera. Boom. Ugh. I need that USB port for my not-so-clicky mouse. And we'll get into the content you all actually signed up for. And I sliced my finger open. Fuck! Ow! Sliced my finger open last night while cooking. So my motor functions on my left hand are not great. Boom, we have the quiet mouse. Camera's gone. And let's actually do our jobs. Didn't we sign up for what? What? Didn't we sign up for a dog stream? It's true. What up, Looming? What up? So, today, we have our usual new player tournament. There are 4 Swiss rounds, and then we will have a little... Well, okay, if someone goes 4-0 and everyone else goes 3-1 or lower, then the stream's just over. Whoever went 4-0 wins. But if there are any ties, we'll resolve the tiebreakers for our finals, right? So we'll just get some new player replays going on. I will prioritize, as usual, trying to get everybody on here at least once. Everybody who's playing today so they can get on stream. Let's take a look at some of the replays. Dwarves, gross. What did I do for today? Landship, Thunderbarge, and War Shrine banned. And then each player gets 2 global bans. Okay, that's all. Gotcha. That is the same game, so I'm going to delete 1 copy of it at random. Don't know who actually won it. That is Double Giant versus Demons of Chaos. Okay. That is the same game from 2 different perspectives. Okay. So we got something to start off. Let's do some chaos on chaos action. Versock versus Yashkov. Sure, why not? How you doing, Looming? Hope you're good. Back to work ban Sippa. I wouldn't do that. Alright. For Versock in the Forces of Khorne, we have Bloodletters as a front line, some Chaos Furies, some Flesh Hounds here and there, 2 Minotaurs with great weapons, and an Exalted Bloodthirster with his Breath Attack, Deathbringer, and Bloodthirst is the little charge thing. Aside for the Demons of Chaos, we have Grand Vomitus, Fleshy Abundance, and Stream of Corruption for his abilities. We have the Angels of Decay, Plague Drones ROR, which in our recent interview with Alfredino, he said this unit was wildly underrated and one of the best on the roster. We also have the Shrieking Skyrays, some Chaos Furies, and then on the ground, Bloodletters and Plague Bearers fighting side by side with Blue and Pink Horrors and a Nurgling. The Sky fight has ensued, and Grand Vomitus might be out of his depth here. He does need to retreat, as his Furies are dead, and the Chaos Furies of Khorne for now are holding. Their superior weapon strength, they did make good work of those regular demonic Furies. Death's Heads for now contenting themselves just to shoot downwards, while the Flesh Hounds are about to demonic instability crumble under the aerial assault of the Shrieking Skyrays, plus getting shot here and there by the Sour Guts. So far, a pretty good start for the Demons of Chaos. Both sides trading a lot of value, but a full Flesh Hound and almost a full Fury for so far a Fury And half of a Shrieking Sky Ray isn't a bad trade, though the Shrieking Sky Rays are taking a lot more damage than I would like, so now I'm getting more concerned. Death's Heads need to retreat away from the Exalted Bloodthirster. I don't disagree as that other Fury fades away. And the blue and pink horrors will have excellent targets here in the Bloodletters of Khorne. Of course, their physical resistance is useless in a demon-on-demon matchup. Everything in this game causes magic damage. But no armor, low shield, well, low armor, no shields is what I meant to say. Not going to do a lot here against these Sour Guts and whatnot. Oh, we got raided. What up, dude? How you doing? Off. Haven't talked to you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Sure. Hellforged Host getting straight through the front line. Same with the Minotaurs and Bloodletters. They're doing very well. Plaguebear is holding a lot longer than the Bloodletters, but they're not dealing much damage back, so it's kind of a trade-off of tankiness versus damage. And Khorne's just trying to get in that front line. Meanwhile, Grand Vomitus is taking a lot of damage, but he does have Fleshy Abundance. So his damage isn't permanent if he doesn't die outright. He and the Plague Drone should be able to take out the Chaos Furies as long as the Bloodthirster isn't nearby. Bloodthirster is a big player in that Sky fight. Meanwhile, on the ground, Minotaurs and Bloodletters teaming up against Plague Bearers and Bloodletters. But that Plague Bearer tankiness is really doing a lot of work. They are lasting quite a long time in the face of such violent Khorne rampaging, which is good. You just kind of need to break Khorne's momentum, make him take a long time to get to your backline. Speaking of taking a long time, Hellforged Hosts are almost dead from how long it took them to get to the Pink Horrors. Minos have also taken a lot of damage, but they are getting to the Pink Horrors, which is still the objective. And now that they're here, they're cleaving through these guys, even with their super low HP point. Just getting into a fight with these Pink Horrors of Tzeentch, that is not a contest that the Pink Horrors will win at all. Grand Vomitus rejoins the fight, throwing down a quick little stream of corruption here and there, but he might need a Fleshy Abundance to be really useful in this game. Then again, I could see Yashkov not caring about healing him up right now because it's not super urgent. Vomitus isn't like the Bloodthirster. He's not going to solo carry this game by just staying in melee. He kind of needs to be a cheeky air caster. Now he might need that healing, though, as Minotaurs of Khorne with great weapons get a good surround onto him. Axing him in the back. He needs to either get to the skies or heal himself. But the Death's Head's taking out a couple more of these Bloodletters. Hellforged Host also getting very low, and the Minotaur is taking a ton of damage as well from these cluster grenade shots. That's kind of the weird thing about them. They have high explosive damage, so they're actually really good at punishing blobs, not as good at sniping out, but Grand Vomit is taking so much damage. There's the Fleshy Abundance, but was it too much of a bait? Did it take too long? Demonic Sensibility is coming for him. Fleshy Abundance is trying to heal him up at the same time. He gets back to even leadership. Now he's crumbling again. But he should be okay. Yeah, he will be. He gets up in the sky, he's still healing a bit. And a rear charge onto the Minotaurs of Khorne do take them out, so the Death's Head saving a lot of face there. Both armies are extremely depleted, both sides doing a lot of damage. The only issue is the full health Exalted Bloodthirster is tipping the balance of power. If, without him in consideration, this would be a very, very close game, but he is concerning me a little bit. As the Festering Stooges keep up the fight. Regenerating of their own accord while also just being exceedingly tanky Plague Bearers. They're holding against the Hellforged Host against all odds. Hellforged Host down to 200 HP and still fighting. Other Plague Bearers also fighting back against Bloodletters. Go you guys go. I wonder what the Demons of Chaos have used for army abilities, if they've used any. I haven't seen anything. Bloodletter plus Bloodthirster equals a dead Plague Bearer. The rear charge is too much for them to withstand, but on the other side, the same can be said of these Plague Drones. Diving in onto the Minotaurs, they break. And still the Hellforged Host barely clinging to life. Looks like the Bloodthirster is about to break another fight. Brutal charge in. There go the Hellforged Host. Hounds the Blood Hunt. Dangerously close to Demonic Instability crumbling. But that... Oh, the Bloodthirster is trashing the Death's Heads. They get pushed off. Demonic Instability takes them out as the Festering Stooges and Grand Vomitus are the last two left. Vomitus spent all this time trying to chase off the Minotaurs of Khorne with great weapons, which, you know, he didn't want them to come back. But now he has to turn and come back to the fight. That allows the Minotaurs to rally. He's kind of in a lose-lose situation. I don't know what he can do. The Bloodthirster is still, like, full HP. And even if Vomitus heals up, he'll be at a health disadvantage due to his healing cap. And the Exalted Bloodthirster is a better melee combatant. I don't see how the Demons of Chaos can rally from this point. I think just an honorable 1v1 duel to the death is the way to go, as he charges straight into some fire breath, and army losses will take him out. A Fecundity, tier 2 army ability for the Demons of Chaos, just delaying this fight a little bit more as Vomitus decides to go out with a bang. But it's Bloodthirster time. Well played from both players. Fair sock, solid rush build here. Everybody doing their part. No real standouts of like crazy value, just kind of everybody did well. For Yashkov, Vomitus seemed to have issues like really participating in the fight too much. The rest of his army did pretty well, but the expensive melee lord caster guy didn't do too much. Death's Heads did alright, but I don't know about Vomitus for the Demons of Chaos. I think Yashkov's taken him 2 or 3 times on stream now, and he just kind of feels meh. Not like aggressively bad, but just kind of meh. On a roster, the Demons of Chaos, where usually their lord does a lot of work, just kind of taking a meh lord feels bad. Alright, I have a message. Is it another replay for me? It is. Boop. Okay. We just cast some Khorne. We just cast some Demons of Chaos. We just cast some Khorne. So there is no escaping to different factions. Let's do Double Giants. Fleshhounds are overrated. Go Warhounds. No. We have Scarbrand the Exiled, who is in chat right now, versus Orion. I'm noticing Scarbrand didn't take Scarbrand, so you're a liar, sir. Dude, rest in peace, Scarbrand. He has a cool name, and he's like, I like this name, and now I'm just going to constantly give him shit whenever he doesn't pick one lord. God forbid you get to play the entire game that you purchased. No, your name is Scarbrand, so you only take Scarbrand. Itatsky, how's life? Pretty good, dude. Pretty good. Hope yours is going well. Okay, what do we got here? Centaurs with throwing axes, Centaurs of Tzeentch on the side of the Beastmen. We do have Malagor, Dark Omen, and Sky with Doom and Darkness and Flock of Doom, and Ungor Herd front line, Double Giant, and a third Centaur of Tzeentch in the background. For the Demons of Chaos, Svarek, the Feather Prince, Pink and Blue Fire, front line of Nurglings, secondary line of Bloodletters, backed up by Blue Horrors and Pink Horrors. Exalted Pink Horrors, don't see those guys often. Triple Fiend of Slaanesh. The Fiends do not want to fight the Centaurs of Tzeentch. That would be bad. And I can only play human factions? Yeah, dude. It's true. What will Double Giants do? I mean, if Svarek ever lands, they'll beat the piss out of him. But aside from that, I'm not super sure. This is actually a pretty wide Demons of Chaos build, so the Giants could be a little tough. Fiends won't have a great time surrounding the Giants, I guess. That's something. Centaurs of Tzeentch take a fight. Unfortunately, they are going to get shot in the sides and charged by Svarek, and Fiends are coming around the corner, so I do think that these Centaurs of Tzeentch need to be focused on being anti-Fiend tools, rather than disrupting the Blue Horrors, but with all this money in Double Giants, it's going to actually be pretty difficult to get good charges in anywhere. Like, the Giants don't clear out Horrors particularly fast. Fiend's going to try and leap onto these Centaurs of Tzeentch who are now retreating. They were going to try and get in here a little sooner, but I think just a bit of a slip of micro there. But the Fiends are now hunting down these poor Centaurs. Twirling about in their ranks. They are faster than the Centaurs too, so at some point the Centaurs just have to turn and take the fight. Not that it's going to be a good fight. Maybe if they get some throwing axe support, it could be okay. Could, doing a lot of work there. Frontline fight, the Demons of Chaos are still holding against Ungor Herds. Ungor Herds are not particularly impressive melee combatants, so it's not shocking that the Beastmen frontline isn't breaking through the Demons. But the Giants and some Centaurs have broken through, and even Svarek's going to jump down onto these throwing axes and try and take them out with his Exalted Pink friends. Exalted Pinks aren't bad melee combatants. 30-38 for melee stats. 32 weapon strength. They're doing fine. Beastmen do appear to be in a bit of trouble. Centaur's throwing axe have almost killed a blue horror, but the fiends took out an entire Centaur of Tzeentch, and that's 1,000 value, which is quite a lot. The Demons of Chaos are doing a good job isolating and killing off the Centaur threat, largely ignoring the Giants for now, and ignoring the Beastmen front line, leaving it to its fate. That's good stuff. Double Giant build is a Chad move. Isn't that what Alfredino did as well? He did a Gorgon, a Giant, and Incarnate Elemental Beasts, which is a little different. That was versus Tomb Kings, not Demons of Chaos. Just sunk your Camaro due to flooding? That's not great, Totsky. Hope you're safe and okay, and hope it's insured. That's the hope. Giant clubbing away at some fiends. They are going to lower his stats by a little bit, but Giants have such insanely high melee attack, and for good reason. I'm not complaining. But a little -5 won't protect the fiends from them. They'll still have 60 melee attack after the -5. So the Giants still get hits in, the Fiends decide to peace out. But really good Fiend management so far. For the Demons of Chaos, we can see, there it is. All 3 Fiends are near full health. Svark is near full health. And the Demons have really only taken damage on a lot of their chaff units, which is really, really good for them to be in this late game situation. Centaur is taking a blue fire in the side, take a little bit of damage. And interesting that the Gaze of Fate was out onto the Giant. Just a brief net. I guess they wanted to get the Exalted Pink Horrors to safety. Then they get a quick volley, and Fiends dive in. Good isolated damage on the Giant. Gonna try and tear him down. Look around the battlefield. I don't see a lot else going on. Just some Centaurs with throwing axes trying to kite it out. That is a lot of tentacles and tongues coming for that Giant. Doesn't exactly have the proper personal protective equipment to deal with that. No hazmat suit, no long jeans, no long sleeves, no gloves. Fiend's gonna charge out after taking a bit of damage. The Giant took more than they did, so definitely a great trade for them. And they can just bog him down in Nurglings and Furies while they leave. They're largely fine with that. That's an Overcast of Doom and Darkness. A desperate attempt for Malagor to get some of these units to Demonic Instability Crumble, and it looks like it is a gamble that will pay off, as 2 of the Nurglings are going to take themselves out, and a Fury might join them. So it's a really good Doom and Darkness cast. Wow, a 3rd Nurgling might actually join them. As a blue fire comes down, that's actually good at doing enough friendly fire damage that it might get these guys to rout. Nope, they're holding for now. Still 12 seconds on the Doom and Darkness. Looks like the Nurglings are rallying a little bit, so there will be no more crumbling. Still a good shout. Shout? Shot? Shout. Shot. Words be difficult. Exalted Pink's firing in as Malagor's going to try and stop them, but this game is all but over. Gaze of Fate plus a charge. If that charge attack hits, this is probably going to be army losses, but the Fiends knock Malagor to safety, so never mind, I guess. Come on, 1 hit. 1 hit for army losses. There's the hit. Ah, hey! It was pretty close. It was pretty close. 1 hit in like a second. What up, Zypher? Contrarian Codex, great job on the Warpstone Cup. Thanks, dude. Thanks, we tried. Finals was hype. All 3 of those best of 5s were great. The Exalted Pink Horror is actually doing really well. Not something you get to say often. Fiends did fine. For Orion and the Beastmen, I think he played pretty well. A little slow on some units sometimes here and there. But I think the Double Giant was just not doing enough for him. He had way too much chaff to clear. I think he brought him for, like, you know, Soul Grinders, or Demons of Chaos probably wouldn't have Kugoth, but like some form of single entity blob. But that's just not how Demons of Chaos play right now. They tend to have an aerial lord that's very powerful, and then they spam fiends, which Giants can't really force an aerial lord to engage them, and they're not fast enough to catch them on the ground. And then fiends, I mean, it's pretty whatever. So I don't think the Double Giants was the play. I think the rest of his build was really solid, just not the Double Giants. If he wants my opinion. If he's just having a good time, then carry on. Ignore me. Do whatever you want. I have 6 messages. What is it? Shoxy? Why would Shoxy message me? Shirayuki? Why would Shirayuki message me? Contrarian Codex? Why are so many people messaging me during the stream where I ask them to send in replays? Why is this happening? I'm just saving up replays. Don't worry, everybody. We'll get back into it soon. Alright. Cool. Cool. Had some player questions and stuff. Some things. Somebody's saying this dwarf build is illegal. Is it because it's ranged? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 14. Yeah, 14 ranged units. I think that's what he's saying. We got Top Hot versus Hayseed. That's true. Again, new player tournament. We're very casual on the rules, but I will point them out. As Jack did in chat. Miners with blasting charges are counted as a ranged unit, and you are limited to 12 ranged units in your army. So this is 14 ranged units. You're so sorry. You should be, dude. Why would people ever message me with replays? Miners count as ranged units? Just the ones with blasting charges. Yeah. Alright, for the build, we have a bunch of miners, miners with blasting charges, rangers with great weapons, an Ironbreaker, the Norga's Ironbreakers, more rangers in Grombrindle. It is a mass vanguard. Meanwhile, Hayseed brought a whole bunch of corn, Exalted Bloodletters of Corn, regular Bloodletters, a cultist with his summon, the Hellforged Host. We do have a Herald of Corn on his motorbike with all of his melee attack buffs to get through those stalwart Dowie. Now, the Dwarves' Vanguard play seems a little bit ambitious as they ended up right in the face of Corn, and now they're trying to reform lines, reform ranks, get things back together. And these blasting charges can do a lot of work on the Bloodletters, who are not actually resistant to fire, and they do have low armor. So being expensive, low armor, and getting blasting charges is not a great way to start your day. Because Norgamling's Ironsbreakers and these miners are about to make everybody's lives terrible in the Corn forces. Good damage onto those guys, though. After their blasting charges are used up, they are not going to have a lot of oomph left. Oh yeah, there is a cannon. Well, it's dead now, but there was a cannon. Because miners and melee are pathetic creatures. So Corn's about to be eaten good after taking all his blasting charges. It hurts now, but then, vengeance. Dude, I don't know if I have a Slayer's Anger, etc., etc. is an argument that's going to work on Corn very well. Corn is kind of the anger faction. So Grombrindle's out here axing into the Herald of Corn like nobody's business. Looks like the Herald's going to try and run away from this very angry dwarf, who will then turn his rage onto Bloodletters instead. But Corn's overrunning the Slayer lines. The dwarves are doing a mighty shame to their ancestors as they break and flee before the literal demons of chaos. How dare you? You're supposed to be the defenders of the old world. You stand and fight, you cowardly little bearded bastards! Don't flee! They're fleeing. They're all fleeing. What up, Captain Telis? He did not take the World Thrower and Gyros. He already won in my book. Oh yeah, Tapat's a legend. We love Tapat. Sword of Corn onto Norga's Ironbreakers, who have insane armor, and it's not that armor piercing, so it's not going to do that much damage, but it's still a Chad move. Oh, Sword of Corn, why aren't you armor piercing? As this Herald is getting worked on by Grombrindle right now. The axe of Dargo thirsts.
That's Ungrim's thing. That's not Grombrindle.
Grombrindle borrowed it for this battle.
That's not true. That's not even the right one. It's the rune axe of Grombrindle. You're stupid.
You're stupid.
You're stupid.
Alright, I feel like we're not getting anywhere and that this argument isn't helping the stream any, so I think you maybe need to calm down.
Fuck you! You calm down!
Okay, I'm gonna time you out. Chat's getting a little wild here, my dear VOD listeners. Gromby is unbreakable, so we will have to watch him slowly die as the Herald just teases him. Teases him by riding away on that motorbike. Then he comes back and he's like, oh, I thought you were gonna come hit me. What happened to all that? What happened to hit me? And Grombrindle's like, alright, fine, I'm gonna come hit you. And the Herald's like, nope. Get fucked. Sword of Corn is like 30% armor piercing, which is pretty low. Grombrindle will not get his revenge this day, as the Bloodletters just swamp his ass. Corn/demonic units that take corn units seem to be on a tear today, as my voice cracks. What is going on, dude? I'm supposed to be professional caster, man. Instead, I'm just Squeaky McGee over here. It's messed up. Messed up. Bloodletters doing very well against heavily armored factions. Like, we saw in the Warpstone Cup a lot. Bloodletters being taken to take out Kislev. We see them against Dwarves a lot, so they are very good against pretty much any infantry duel. Even if you're not armored, Bloodletters will generally cleave through you, which I really like being the state of play right now. I would hope the Demons of Khorne would be like the best infantry on the field. That just seems like a good place for them to be. Kind of like those Plague Bearers of Nurgle we saw, taking forever to kill. It's like, yeah, that's the Nurgle thing. I'm fine with that. Shoxy versus Shirayuki. Get our first Skaven of the day with, say it with me, kids, more corn. It's just corn. A sword the size of a building needed it from a literal god with anger issues versus 120 armor. Easy game, easy life. Cool shirt, thanks. This is a good shirt. Alrighty, Shoxy on Khorne versus Shirayuki on the Skaven. For Shoxy, we have some Marauder Frontlines, Chaos Knights of Khorne, Blood Crushers of Khorne, an Exalted Bloodthirster, and then a Vanguard troop of dogs. Chaos Warhounds and Fleshhounds sneaking through the darkness, led by Karanak himself, who brought his Prey of the Blood God net. And it doesn't look like he brought his own summon, which is fine. Oops, all Khorne. Alright. On the other side, for the Skaven, we have Clan Rats, Rat Ogres, Skaven Slave Slingers, more Clan Rats. I thought I saw some Storm Vermin. Storm Vermin Halberds. Okay, so here's the thing. We need to have a talk. Finishing up the build really quick, we have a Warlock Engineer of Cleansing Rune Howling Warpkill, and then we have Skrulk with just a Vermintide summon, and then Libra Bonicus Rod of Corruption. That's fine. I have no issues with the build. We also have the Avalanche Mortars and the Natty Booba Sharpshooters. That's fine. I was having a conversation with someone about this, with Skaven in general, and I finally have a moment to talk about it on stream. So this is an actual tactics thing. Skaven or anybody. If you are taking elite units, like these two Storm Vermin Halberds, sorry, I meant to do this one, right? These two Storm Vermin Halberds, I also see it with Tomb Kings a lot, taking Tomb Guard. I see it a lot with, like, Dwarves playing Longbeards. You can disagree with this, but this is just my opinion, so take it for what it is. I really don't like when players put their most elite units in the back. I don't like it at all. And here's why. You're paying for elite units. Now, unless the way they're going to die is ranged fire, then that's a reasonable concern to put them in the back. But that's not what we're dealing with. This is Khorne, right? So you know a melee is coming for you. Your elite units need to be in the front. Because you're paying a bunch of money for them. Because what else is going to happen? Now you might be like, Human Boy, you stupid, dumb fuck idiot. The knights aren't going to go through the front. The knights are going to go around the back. Yes and no. One, if your halberds are in the back, the knights can realize that these are just clan rats who don't have charge defense. They can just go boop. Right? Because in this exact situation, you have nothing to punish them up front. They don't care. They could just boop your clan rats real quick and bust through your front lines. So it doesn't matter. And two, if your opponent's not an idiot, which I like to play under the assumption that my opponent's going to play correctly. Knights come back here. Your halberds sit here. There's two issues with this. One, the knights don't have to YOLO into your halberds. They can ignore them. So they can sit here. Now, when your front line falls apart, which it's going to, when your front line falls apart, now your halberds have a lose-lose situation. They can either go forward and take their place to hold the front line, and now your back is open, and those Chaos Knights we mentioned before now get to sweep in and sweep your whole force, or you stay here, stop the Chaos Knights. The Chaos Knights continue to sit here, but now there's no fucking front line, so the enemy front line is just going to come through here. So now you're in a lose-lose because your front line fell apart. Right? So the other problem is the Chaos Knights are way faster than your halberds. So unless you're boxing, which we're not, Chaos Knights can just go around you, or kind of just run you around, or like juke you, right? They can start to run in this way, and as you come over here, they all of a sudden double back and go around you. So a player with good micro can just outrun your halberds. So I really don't like halberds as backline defense. I like cheap spears as backline defense, because your whole point is just to get in the way and stop those Chaos Knights. Because the Chaos Knights still don't want to run into Clan Rat spears, if those are Clan Rat spears and not Stormborn Halberds. They still don't want to run into it. So now they're still playing this game where they're waiting around, or they're trying to juke you, or they're trying to do all this shit. But now they're doing all this shit with a 300 gold unit instead of a 1,000 gold unit. And your front line's going to hold a lot longer. I just like it a lot more. So I thought I'd talk about this briefly, because I see it all the time. But anyway. So I think if you take elite units, you should put them on the front line. Unless you're worried about range pressure, which is reasonable, but we're not talking about that because this is Khorne. What about Marauder Horsemen throwing axes? I mean, yeah, but if they sit on your front line shooting at Stormvermin Halberds or Skaven Slave Slingers or Poisonman Globes or what have you, we're going to punish them a lot. And you can see, actually, the Chaos Knights of Khorne are going to do that. They're just ignoring the Halberds and trying to bust through this front line and actually doing a pretty good job of it. Flensing Ruin? No. Howling Warp Gales out on the Exalted Bloodthirster just stopping him in place, but the Halberds are not in the position to stop these Knights, while the Avalanche Mortars are trying to deter some of the dogs. Chaos Warhounds of Khorne are infantry sized. They're not even going to be that scared of the Storm Vermin, to be honest. In come all the doggos. Natty Boobos have gotten a little bit of damage on the Exalted Bloodthirster. The Marauders of Khorne haven't even hit the front line yet, and Khorne is collapsing in on this one flank. Maybe should have timed it a little different so that their front line was hitting at the same time, but you can see the Chaos Knights are pounding straight through this front line, and the Halberds have yet to see any action. I'm not trying to be a dick, I'm more of trying to support my point. So Khorne has collapsed this whole flank, and it looks like they're going to spend some time running these guys off, getting kills, and charging up their army passive, while the Flensing Ruin plus Lord Skrull plus all of the damage in the entire world is really taking this Exalted Bloodthirster to task, and Karanak needs to get involved quickly. He needs to find either the Warlock Engineer or Lord Skrull, who needs to stop them from casting any more spells and just be a nuisance. Now, I like this a lot from Khorne. Ignore this whole area. Don't give a fuck about it. It's fine. Doesn't want to spread his forces thin, just wants to break up some of these areas and get them out of here. Karanak is in hunting against Skrull. Blood Crushers, that's it. Everything on the Khorne roster is blood something, so I get confused. Blood Crushers are trying to help out the Exalted Bloodthirster. That's going fine. Dogs need to get back in here and harass a little bit more, but still, the Halberds haven't been able to really make their presence too known just yet. Marauders finally hit, and Khorne is a bit behind the balance of power. Like I said, I think they were a little over-eager to start the fight without their entire front line evolved yet. We do have some Chaos Knights lagging behind. They need to get new orders. Either chase down the Clan Rats and get all those kills for the Blood God and get your passive up and whatnot, or charge down some of these ranged units or something. We have Chaos Warhounds trying to kill Natty Boobos. They're barely clinging to leadership for now, but just as I say that, they fall apart, and now it's Karanak all alone. Marauders trying to tear through the Clan Rat front line. Exalted Bloodthirster's getting very low. And I worry the next Flensing Ruin is just going to be the end of this, guys. The Chaos Knights are trying to waddle back into the fight now, but they don't have attack orders, they just have movement orders, and they're going to get bombarded by the Avalanche Mortars in the meantime. Karanak is getting low and now surrounded by Stormvermin Halberds. He is a big boy, so he will take a lot of damage from those forces, and Skrull gets out another summon as the Chaos Knights are getting deleted. Exalted Bloodthirster's doing his best, but he's got to get onto that Warlock Engineer. He's got to do it soon before that next Flensing Ruin comes over and ends him. We also could use a Sword of Corn right here. I don't know how many kills Corn's gotten at this point, though. Nearly 1,000, so they should have it. Hey, look, there it is. Sword of Corn! Pew! Very nice Sword of Corn onto both of the Stormvermin with halberds. That is beautiful, and exactly what Corn needed to desperately try and stay in this game, as the Blood Crushers are soaring through the front line of the Skaven, running down all his clan rats, getting them routing, getting more of that army passive going as Karanak tries to just keep people honest. But the Warlock Engineer is left on his own. Bloodthirster's going for Skrulk, I get that, but I think the Bloodthirster and Karanak need to be doing separate things all the time, because we can't let another Flensing Ruin get cast or Corn just loses this game. But sniping out the Skaven Lord is important, so I would have Karanak go visit that Warlock Engineer and pay him a visit. But Natty Boob Sharpshooters are shooting at the Bloodthirster, Rat Ogres are charging in, and Skrulk is fighting back, so even if Skrulk dies, I feel like Corn is just too far behind at this point. Probably going to lose the Bloodthirster. And then without him, balance of power is going to get worse, but also just the leadership situation of Corn is going to become disastrous. And they will fall behind. Skrulk has either shattered or died. Looks like he died. And the Warlock Engineer is in here too, silencing himself, but also his leadership is dog shit. So if Skrulk is actually dead, he's going to rout even at full HP. He'll rout. But the Natty Boob Sharpshooter still firing in is a problem. Poison Wind Mortar is firing in as a problem. And it just doesn't seem like Corn have the bros left to hang in there. As these sniper rifle hits keep hitting the Bloodthirster, and he's like shaking with the impacts, but his leadership rallies. He's chilling on leadership. He's just getting poked down constantly. As he murders the Warlock Engineer. Absolutely bodies that fool just before he goes down. The Skaven have rallied enough rat bodies, they should be okay, even if Karanak hunts down the Warlock Engineer, which he should. I mean, the Natty Boobo Sharpshooters are going to keep poking him, and that'll be army losses. Dwarf's the only match where they can do somewhat perform somewhat constantly. Yeah, Sword Masters are good versus Dwarves, for sure. For Shoxy, it was a bold attempt. I have found one of the issues with Karanak is he's not in the Lord slot, which I'm not saying he should be, but taking him plus any of the Court Lords are pretty expensive, makes your army rather thin. Can work versus Skaven. I think some of the Chaos Knights got a little lost in the sauce. We had a point where they were sitting up on the hill for a little too long. So a couple execution mistakes. I liked Shoxy's strategy overall. I think the execution just needed a bit of tweaking. As for Shirayuki, good execution, good build. The only gripe I had was the placement of his Stormvermin halberds, but like he played out the battle really well. I liked it quite a lot. Yeah. Securing his Natty Boobos and just getting them firing constantly was huge. Was that actually Corn Sword or Toothpick he flings? Probably a Toothpick. Because I think Corn is much larger than that. Good games, good games. As I get a... message from a person involved in this tournament. Alright. I was warned that was a bad game. We've gotten a lot of demons of types. Let's get something else going here. We just watched Shirayuki. I'm not deleting them. I'm just looking over them. Alright, Vampire counts Wood Elves. That's something. Can we all agree that that's something? Is that a thing? I'm not deleting those replays. I just don't want to cast just Khorne and Demons of Chaos back to back to back to back. John B., what song did I start singing? I actually wasn't paying attention. Alright, Pride versus Twist. The twist is, there is no pride. For the Wood Elves, we have Firebark Elders, Durthu, the Flock of Doom and Sword of Death, very common combo for him these days. Eternal Guard, Glade Guard as a front line, and then a cavalry corps of Glade Riders with Spears and Sisters of the Thorn. Message from person in this tournament. Okay, yeah. If I'll make a game of Scarbound and you cast it, you know it, dude. You know it. On the other side, we have Varix Reavers and the Dire Pack. Other Dire Wolves, Blood Knights, a Necrarch. I'm just going to pause it because I don't want to miss that cav fight that's going on. Oh, there's also a Forest Dragon. Hi, Forest Dragon. All right, we have a Necrarch Vampire Lord on his Hellsteed. Spirit Leech, Zombie Summon, Invocation Heck. Devils of Schwarzhofen. Fellbats, Zombies, Spearmen, the Sternsmen, Graveguard, ROR, more Graveguard, more Vargeist. So very diverse Vampire Counts build. You'll love to see it as Varix Reavers are going to pile in. And these are just 2 Glade Riders here. We do have some Sisters of Thorn, but they're not involved in the fight just yet. So Varix Reavers plus some Vargeist coming in should win this rather decisively, unless the Sisters decide to get off their ass and actually help out. Starships by Nicki Minaj. That is a throwback to my high school days. I don't want to say childhood, because that seems a little aggressive, but high school definitely. Durthu and the archers moving up. Meanwhile, the cav fight is still going on, and the Sisters of Thorn are using mostly their ranged capacity. They will not want to engage in that fight. Kyle Thompson with the 10 pounds, if I recognize that currency correctly, because I am an uneducated American scumlord, but thank you so much for the donation, sir. The Sisters of Thorn are actually just going to opt into the fight? No, they're trying to kite around, trying to avoid Varix Reavers, but they definitely don't want this fight all alone. Vargeist and Varix Reavers versus them would not be great. As the Glade Guard are making the Devils of Schwarzhofen and these Fellbats take a lot of damage for their efforts. Other Fellbats and Skeleton Spearmen have gotten onto some of the archers. And it's looking a little spooky here. Was that a Lamentation of Despairs? That's bold to throw at a flying target. It looks like it did not hit as Durthu was in the front line. He's doing well. The cav fight seems to be going the Vampire Count's way. The backline of the Wood Elves is shut down. Without all of those archers, I'm significantly afraid that our DPS check for the Wood Elves will be too low to deal with the Vampire Counts. Good shutdown from them. Good stuff. Killing the backline off. As the Blood Knight flag is disingenuous, they're actually all over here. Not even over there at all. Durthu's winning the front line, which is fine. Sisters of Thorn doing some skirmishing, which is okay. But the Varix Reavers are heavily armored, bronze shielded, and they have natural regen. So they don't care at all about dueling with the Sisters of Thorn. They're fine with those guys using their ammo on them. And it's looking tough for the Wood Elves, but a beautiful breath attack down the side. Hits zombies and Graveguard. Very nice stuff before Vargeist swoop this guy. Now that Forest Dragon's in a bit of trouble. Just a bit. A smidgen of trouble. Durthu is killing an unholy amount of units with his Flock of Dooms. It's not a lot of value because it's just zombies, but 7 kills is pretty good. And he's got stuff around him that's really low, so he's probably going to get a bunch of kills soon. Forest Dragon's gonna die as Devils of Schwarzhofen take the fight to the Firebark Elders, but those Firebark Elders have fire in their name, and they set you on fire, and you can't heal as much, so you're gonna run away. Makes sense. Can Durthu solo carry? Probably not. Is he using Lamentation of Despairs up in the sky again? Holy shit, the legend. It manages to hit some Fellbats randomly, even though it was aimed at the Necrarch Lord, but we take those. So our Sisters of the Thorn, both still very healthy, and have all of their bound magic casts. Durthu is still quite healthy, and the Wood Elves have some Spearmen they can fall back on. So all hope is not lost. Just a lot of hope is lost. Hope is fading, but hope is not lost. Hope has a map. The map has a couple holes in it, and the map is torn a little bit, and it's for a different county than the one you're in, but hope is not lost. Hope knows exactly where it is. Hope doesn't need to ask for directions. Hope is fine on its own. Hope knows where we are. Hope is wondering if you want to drive. If you have so many opinions, do you want to drive? Because Hope doesn't have to drive. Hope knows where we are. Don't ask the guy. Don't ask the guy. Fuck, we're going the wrong way. Hope admits defeat. And Forest Dragon's gonna die in deep cuts today. Alright. Durthu's still fighting it out. He's doing okay. Vampire Count's slowly winning the front line as these Sisters of the Thorn are proving to be a pain in the ass for the Varix Reavers. Finally, the Varix Reavers get a fight they wanted, and they get Curse of Onreheard by those bound spells and shot in the back where their shields are no good. Alright, we get it. Alright, my bits are not appreciated. I'll knock it off. Sword of Daith down on the front line of the Graveguard and the Dire Wolves as they get pulled apart. Firebark Elders just doing Firebark Elder stuff. Being completely alone against the world, but their obscenely tanky stat line allows them to just hold forever and stand in the middle of those Vargeist. They're doing fine. Wood Elves trying to fight back a little bit. Varix Reavers getting close to that crumbling point, which will just essentially negate their regeneration and make them easier to deal with. But the Blood Knights will be a big problem for Sisters of the Thorn. Running out of ammunition, and they just can't fight back against the Blood Knights nearly as well as they can against the Varix Reavers. Blood Knights have a better damage profile and anti-large the Varix Reavers don't have, despite being Regiment of Renown. Durthu being the constant strong point he is, he has no source of healing here with what the Wood Elves brought, but he is still 5,000 HP of pure badass that he's trying to get taken down right now. Sternsman and other Graveguard trying to poke at him, but no armor piercing, no anti-large makes that a little more difficult. Varix Reavers are going to die off. Actually, the Sister of Thorn getting attacked by the Neckbark Vampire Lord. Looks like he's just trying to convince them to sit still for the Blood Knight rear charge for just a second. And they're trying to push through the Graveguard. So they charge in to help Durthu, then they try to push through the Graveguard as the Blood Knights are closing in on the back. Killed off a couple Sisters of the Thorn models that made their charge a little weird looking, but they are getting all the way through. Firebark Elders, Sister of the Thorn grouping up with Durthu. There's still one Eternal Guard over here, but the balance of power is showing my feelings on the matter. Durthu's getting too low. The Vampire Counts have a lot of healing left that they can just stall this game out and grind through it. Army losses will hit it last. But it was a valiant attempt. I felt like that went really bad for Pride at the start, and then he clawed out an even fight from a bad position, but he was just too far behind to like actually make a comeback. That was pretty good. His sisters did a lot of work. Thanks, Valentine. Your insane ramblings are what you set you apart at a lonely lunch table. I love it. Alright. Graveguard didn't do too much value. They just kind of hung around near Durthu and were tanky. Varix Reavers and Blood Knights were the stars of the show. Dogs also did quite well at taking out the archers, and the Devil's Torch-Off and the other Vargeist were just nice and annoying, but pretty solid game here from Twist. I generally don't talk highly of the Vampire Counts, but that was really good Vampire Counts play, and kind of a creative build. As creative as you can be with their extremely limited roster, but like took a different Lord than usual, took Varix Reavers, which you don't usually see. Don't honestly see a lot of Blood Knights these days, usually just 4 Vargeist and Manfred, so yeah. Pretty good stuff. Exciting as far as Vampire Counts go. Pride Gaming in the chat saying, Human Boy, you're a piece of shit and garbage. I hope I never see you again. This is my last Warhammer tournament ever. Oh, okay. I mean, that feels a bit harsh, but Jesus, dude. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's fine. Oh, that's the Svarik bug. Look at this. So, Svarik's here, and if you click on a different replay, it doesn't have Svarik. Wait, but it doesn't work on that one. It works on this one. Svarik takes over Eltharion. He's even wearing the hat. he's wearing the fucking hat. But if you go up here and come back down, it's just Eltharion. Svarik gets the hat now. I love that bug. I don't fully know what makes that bug happen, but it's great. Hayseed sent me another game. Come on, put on the heavy metal chaos build. This one? Rubric, are you talking about this one? As I look through the others, I'll make sure. That has to be the only one you could think of. Yeah, I will. Hold on. Let me delete that repeat. It's the same game. Yeah, I'll put this on. I was informed this wasn't a great game, but sure. If you want it, I'll throw it on there. This is Blob Sauce and Donald. You're mistaking all the feathers that Isles grow in the winter. I don't know if I should believe you. Alright. Oh, got the thingy. Chromatic Abominations and Sour Guts for a little bit of ranged fire, but this is pretty standard versus Brettonia stuff. For Tzeentch, 2 Chosen Tzeentch with halberds, 2 Chaos Warriors with halberds. A spawn for some armor sundering is pretty creative and neat. It's mostly the halberds I'm used to seeing. We have Aesion the Fallen, Mutal Vortex Beast, ROR, and then Kairos Fate Weaver with Pendulum and Blue Fire. This used to be a lot more common when Kairos could take regrowth, but still, I mean, halberds versus Brettonia isn't exactly rocket science, and Tzeentch have some pretty good halberds on their roster, so that tracks. Also, a big spooky monster with a Mortis Engine type effect is also pretty good. On the other side, for Le Donald, we do have Grail Knights, Questing Knights, Knights Errant and Grail Knights, Enri Le Massif, and Lewin. And then on the ground, we have Minimal Peasants, Damsel of Life, and a Grail Relic. Pretty standard stuff from both sides as Kairos finds himself getting into a little bit of trouble. There's a net onto Enri Le Massif. And now all of the pink and blue horrors turning fire at him at a pretty close range. Should get a little bit of poke, but nothing too stellar, as Knights Errant are going to dive in onto these guys. Weaving their way through the halberds with Lewin charging in now, and a good rear charge in from the Grail Knights. Actually might do some decent damage to the halberds of Tzeentch, with the Sword of Corone debuff out, lowering their melee defense and armor quite a lot. Tony's just trying to cycle charge their way through things. Ow, those Questing Knights, though. Ow, that's so much damage. Ow! Okay, they lost over half their HP on that charge. Ooh, but are these Grail Knights? Grail Knights plus Lewin on Kairos. Does Kairos have his negation thingy? He doesn't. He didn't bring it at all. He doesn't have that ward safe to bail him out of a bad time. Sure, the Brettonians are a little blobbed up, but can they take out Kairos Fate Weaver? It might be worth it. And the Brettonians might be rethinking bringing 0 archers right about now, as they can't shoot into this halberd blob for the moment. The Mutal Vortex Beast plus some Chaos Spawn going to bail out Kairos and swipe at Lewin on his way out, getting a lot of damage there. And a big overcast of Blue Fire into a clump of units, but Blue Fire doesn't have that much penetration after its several nerfs, so it's not as good at clearing out large blobs of infantry anymore. Thankfully, there's something it can't do, but Pendulum could probably do it. Ow. Man, imagine if that was a good spell. Take that, Pendulum. Anyway, we have Grail Knights and Knights Errant trying to surround the Mutal Vortex Beast with Enri and Lewin. The Knights Errant just need to get out of here because their bodies are getting in the way of the Grail Knights. If the Grail Knights were able to get a true surround on that thing, they would kill it pretty quickly, but Knights Errant getting between them, not doing good. More rear charging in, other Grail Knights plowing through the Chromatic Abominations, trying to get them to Demonic Instability crumble. The Pink Core is also not looking too good, but Tzeentch still has a lot of halberds left. Here, the Grail Knights are getting left all alone, and that is significantly more damage onto Aesion the Fallen than the Knights Errant were having. Though for some reason, they've stopped attacking for a while. I don't know why the Grail Knights aren't, like, swinging at this guy at all. They're just sitting literally AFK. That doesn't seem like a player fault. It seems like some kind of weird bug. But anyway, Aesion is taking a bunch of damage. Meanwhile, Kairos is trying to snipe out the Damsel of Life, and the Peasants are doing negative damage to the halberds for now. The Pendulum was underwhelming. True. What a build, holy moly. The Chosen of Corn won Warriors of Chaos? Rubric, I didn't know that! Okay, my bad, dude. My bad. Overcasted regrowth onto the Grail Knights. Aesion is about dead, and I will never listen to Rubric again. Trogdar, it's hanging pretty good, dude. I gotta say, there's not enough Wood Elves in this new player tournament, and I don't know where I could find some good Wood Elf players, man. There's just like, I don't think there are any out there. I literally don't think there are any good Wood Elf players in my server. It's fucked up, brother. But Human Boy, was it? Shh. Just let me do the bit so we can try and bait Trogdar into playing Wood Elves. We love Trogdar, and we love his Wood Elves. If we tell him that somebody else literally just played Wood Elves, he might not play them. Alright, Kairos is in again, getting hit by the Sword of Corone for another time, but Grail Knights are charging past him, not really getting a full surround as Lewin and Enri try and fight back a bit. The Damsel, there she is. I knew she was routing, but I didn't know if she had rallied yet. She said 0 leadership, so she comes back briefly. We'll see if she can stay in the fight, as Lewin is Gaze of Fated. The net's not as important here as the minus 40 melee attack. I think that's what Kairos is going for. But we do have Spawn, we do have some halberds in here pushing off the Grail Knights. Lewin's taking a lot of damage, his heal cap's already in sight. And Rhee needs some healing too. Brettonia overall needs a lot of healing. And did I mention that there's still like a metric shit ton of halberds left? We have 2 Chosen of Tzeentch, nearly full HP. 2 Chaos Warriors with Halberds, half HP apiece. Brettonians try and sandwich these guys in. They don't even get through the barriers before backing off, which, you know, that's good cycle charging. They didn't stay in combat for longer than they had to, but it's going to kind of be a problem. Every time you go to reset your cycle charge, the barriers of Tzeentch are going to start regenerating until you show back up. We have a lot of bloodthirsty newcomers, that's true. Khorne's corruption runs deep in this batch of new players. Kairos is running away from Lewin as the rest of the Brettonians try and figure out something to do about this. Grail Knight's going to get their lances, couch this charge back into the halberds and into the Sour Guts. Those the Sour Guts die, they will do their little explosions, which is quite problematic. Though Brettonia is actually mounting a bit of a comeback here. Trying to snipe out Kairos, and if they do that, I mean, you could cycle charge Chosen. Chosen are not ITP, so if their Lord's dead and they're getting cycle charged a bunch, Lewin could actually tear out them pretty easily. Brettonia, of course, using their very, very strong healing. Is it onto the Grail Knights? Different Grail Knight, but yes, onto the Grail Knights. This spawn of Tzeentch is down to 26 health, 1 model. So now he's just a little armor-sundering bot. Meanwhile, the Sour Guts might finally die. They've been charged an awful lot. There they go. They're going to finally die. But Kairos is not giving up this fight where he might have wanted to. Kairos reconsidering challenging Henri Le Massif, because Le Massif in French stands for ass-kickery. Another pendulum is out from Kairos, deterring the Spearmen-at-Arms from returning to their king's aid. And the Grail Knights charge back in and out again. That 26 HP spawn with his 3 HP barrier proving rather difficult for Brettonia to deal with. Full health Chosen. Full health Chosen. Halberds, halberds, halberds. And a little blue fire to boot. Brettonians charge back in and out. And really good micro here, making sure not to stay in the halberds for longer than he has to. Hashtag make Brettonian Mortis engines good again. Bring back the Fey Enchantress. Sword of Crone is down. Reduced melee defense, reduced armor. You've heard it all before as these guys plow into the Chaos Warriors. Tzeentch getting rid of their barriers. A little bit of damage and start to fall back. Now imagine earlier if Kairos had died in these Lord Snipe attempts. This could actually be a little spooky. But he has not died because Kairos keeps getting knocked over every time he gets charged by Lewin and Henri. Now we have peasants supporting, knights still charging in and out. The halberds are looming ominously, and a blue fire from left field takes out the damsel. Kairos is like, fuck you, lady. Stop healing them, and just takes him down. I mean, that's a good play. That is a good play. We'd love to see that. So those knights errant are as low as they're ever going to be. A bolt of change has to be a misclick onto the spearmen. I imagine there was just so many units blobbed up that Tzeentch misclicked onto those guys because he was probably aiming for the Grail Knights or Lewin or anyone else besides a random spearman at arms. But this Chaos Warrior with Halberd, again, if Kairos was dead, his leadership would be low enough that he'd tear out and Brettonia could run him down. Other Chaos Warriors getting pretty low, but what do you do about the Chosen? What do you do about him? It's just a pile of halberds. He's got nothing. In the interest of time, I will ×2 at this point, as I think the writing is on the wall. Kairos is invincible against the forces of Brettonia. For some reason, they just can't seem to actually pin this guy down. And halberds do be halberding. Henri is trying to kill Kairos, but Kairos gets a rear shot onto Lewin, knocks him out, and that is GG. And we did what Rubric wanted. Which actually, to be fair, Blobsauce told me the game wasn't particularly great, so I should probably skip it. And then I only watched it because Rubric told me to. It actually wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Donald definitely needed some archers. I don't think he's maybe known about Tzeentch Halberd Blobs. But that is a pretty standard counter Brettonian build. But alright, so there's a heavy metal build that I'm supposed to watch. Is that one? I'm done giving Rubric shit. I'll be nice. I think you wanted that one. Hayseed versus Twist. Okay. We can probably do that. Let me check in on the tournament and see if I need to do anything tournament-wise, but then we'll watch the heavy metal one for you, buddy. I know I need to watch all different players. We'll get to them. But I picked the wrong one, so now I feel bad. So now I need to get it right for our boy Rubric. I think this is the replay I wanted, if I'm done being stupid for a bit. Hayseed versus Twist. Hayseed's still on a mission to try and prove that Dragon Ogres and Kolek are actually good. And I will die on my hill that they suck. Oh, you guys want to know a funny fact? I just noticed because there's political ads everywhere. Politics aside, I'm not talking about politics. This is just a really cool thing in my life. Tim Walz taught high school at the high school I went to when I went to it. He was, so he taught before. Tim Walz is Kamala Harris's vice president, which doesn't matter how you feel about politics, not talking about that. It's just really weird to see someone you know on the national stage. Because I went to that high school, and he had quit teaching at that point, but he sometimes came back as a substitute and would, like, teach. So it's just, like, crazy to know somebody, and, like, oh, people are talking about, like, oh, wow, there's this vice presidential pick. I'm like, I fucking know that guy. Like, I've talked to him on 3 separate occasions. Was he a good teacher? Yeah, he was good. He was all right. Have you considered how good of a kisser Kolek is? I have not, but he is a great kisser. That one I know from experience. Did Turin cast something like it somewhere? I think this is new. Alright. Real life silliness aside. Oh! That was a soul quench onto a Chosen of Khorne. It did that much damage. That was insane. Alright, for Hayseed, we gotta go fast because apparently Eltharian's just fucking in there. We have a Chaos Sorcerer, Shadows of Pit of Shades, Nockon's Mind Razor, Kolek Suneater, Dragon Ogres, Swords of Chaos, and then a front line of Chosen of Khorne and Marauders. On the other side for the High Elves, we have Eltharion the Grim with Soul Quench and Apotheosis, White Line of Krace, front line with some Spearmen, Puremain Company, Lothern Seaguard, Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, and Rahagar's Pride, with more Lions all over the place, plus the Fireborn. You can't have a High Elf build without the Fireborn, because previously they were a really high stat line with good healing, and now they're a really good stat line with good healing, so Fireborn are great. Bro, ask him to advertise the channel. You're right. I email him, I'm like, hey, Tim Walz, do you remember when you substitute taught at Mankato West, and you remember a student in one of the many classes you had? Can you, like, promote, like, YouTube channel, bro? Another beautiful Soul Quench down the side. Those are doing so much more damage than I would have expected. And the Lions charge out as well, getting good damage onto poor Marauders. These Lions will also do good on the charge, but then Dragon Ogres are going to pile back in, and all of a sudden it's going to be a disaster for the Lions, who... Yeah, some of them are already running, they're like, never mind. We're super sorry about this, and they just run away. Oh, you'll love to see it. Nice Pit of Shades in. It's going to catch 2 different units unless the Lothern Seaguard dodge back, which doesn't look like they're going to, so it will do damage to both units here. And the Fireborn getting a preemptive Apotheosis to keep them nice and topped off while they fight against the Marauders and Dragon Ogres. Swords of Chaos going in deep. They are fighting 2 different Lion units, though, and that could be a problem. The Swords of Chaos don't have the best holding stats, and Eltharion jumping into is going to be real, real bad. Kolek's clearing out the center with the help of some of his Chosen of Khorne friends. Chosen of Khorne, insanely high melee stats, plus their fire damage, of course, going to help against any Apotheosis shenanigans in the future. But the Dragon Ogres are about to be in big trouble. With their Marauder support leaving, now it's just Dragon Ogres versus the Fireborn. And they weren't winning this fight when they had little dudes running between their feet to take some of their shots. Now, they're just going to get bodied by the Fireborn that's already starting. Bounce power is slightly Chaos favored, though, and I would agree, despite the fact that I've only said positive things about the High Elves. The center fight is going so poorly for them, that's just not something I usually spend a lot of time talking about because it's melee stat checks between melee units. But yeah, those Chosen are getting onto the backline, then the High Elf archers are going to be under duress. And without those archers, soon the War Lions and the Fireborn are going to run out of oomph. I do wonder how good 3 Chosen of Khorne are going to be in the late game, but as we literally just saw, I mean, Chosen of Tzeentch with Halberds won a whole game, so why can't these ones? Kolek's still running through, for now, just causing disruption. He realizes he can't quite catch Eltharion, because Eltharion's a flying unit, so he's just going to make Eltharion pay for ignoring him as these White Lions of Krace are filtering into a predictive Lightning Bolt. Really good Lightning Bolt cast there from Hayseed and Kolek. I say Hayseed and Kolek like Kolek did anything there. Like Kolek was like, yo, Hayseed, bro, drop it here. Alright. Dragon Ogre is still fighting the Fireborn. Fireborn backing off now as Big Daddy Kolek's coming through the trees to say hello. They still have really good model count, 29 out of 60. They do need to get some apotheoses from Eltharion, and I imagine that's why Eltharion's flying over here, is to do something about the situation. Warriors of Chaos still maintaining a slight lead on bounce power, and I would agree. So it looks like the Swords of Chaos will beat the War Lions in the distance. These Marauders are going to get picked off, but there's the apotheosis. I would say I hate being right all the time, but I love it. I love being right all the time. Dragon Ogres get melted under the charge of the Fireborn. Kolek once again turns his attention towards them, and once again the Fireborn run away. Good play, good play. You love to see it. Chosen of Khorne, Swords of Chaos, doing some cleanup over here, while other Marauders and more Chosen of Khorne, of course, keep fighting away. And I imagine that's going to be the Warriors of Chaos plan. Just fall back on this bulwark of Chosen, and whenever the High Elves come to fight you on top of Chosen, you beat the shit out of them. Eltharion sniping out the Shadows Caster is a really nice start to a High Elf comeback. Chaos has to find a way to shut these Lothern Seaguard down, because that's going to ruin his plan of, like, sitting on his Chosen of Khorne and forcing Eltharion to land in a disfavored situation. If he's just getting shot the whole time, Eltharion doesn't have to land. But if Kolek runs down the archers, Eltharion can dive him, maybe the Fireborn can get involved or something. So Kolek's got to take these guys out soon before we get to a late game situation. Would a Nurgle caster have been better? No. I largely think the healing plus Kolek combo is overrated. I think the Shadows caster did some solid work. I personally prefer a Fire caster, but I like the idea of taking out the High Elf infantry and supporting there rather than focusing on Fleshy Abundance, because the High Elves do have a decent amount of fire damage, especially the Fireborn. Fireborn apply fire damage, which reduces healing, but the Fireborn are also specialists at taking out large targets by surrounding them. So if you're planning on healing a large target, I mean, how the battle's probably going to go is they're probably going to be on fire. So I both think the High Elves have some counters to it, and I think the Warriors of Chaos just have better strategies available. Personally. But that is personal preference. I don't think a Nurgle caster is objectively wrong here. I think it's fine. I just wouldn't personally go for it. Fireborn getting Apotheosis trying to heal up, but that healing will mean nothing compared to Kolek's insane weapon strength with all of his buffs popped. If he can get some good hits in, he'll kill these guys anyway. The Swords of Chaos ride to his aid. They even have Guardian, which I honestly forgot they had. So the Fireborn are knocked out. Now, meanwhile, Eltharion's getting some good damage onto some Chosen of Khorne. And the Chosen of Khorne have been whittled across the battlefield. They're feeling the burn. It's going okay. It's going fine. Now the High Elves are getting to that spooky spot I mentioned before. So everything's routing, it's just Eltharion that's around. And if Eltharion takes any fight, Kolek's going to be near his Chosen of Khorne. Which also, all that fire damage again, makes his Apotheosis healing less impactful. Looks like he's going to try and go get the Swords of Chaos, but you see the Swords of Chaos immediately realizing this is happening, pull back towards Kolek. And that's the big thing, is they just like, they don't want to get picked apart anymore. Should be another really good Soul Quench. Tries to dodge it, but still takes the hit. Anyway, Chaos is going to try and group up. They don't want to get picked off. Like, anybody who falls outside of the formation, Eltharion's just going to swoop down on them and kill them. Like, hey, look, Marauders outside the formation. Eltharion swooping down and killing them. Hey! 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 Worst Professor, how dare you. Lothern Seaguard rallied for the briefest of times. Fire one quick shot in before the Swords of Chaos run them down. And Eltharion continues to find himself between a rock and a hard place. Now, where's the Eagle Club Bolt Thrower crew going? They're going to remount. And then they'll fire the shot. And it's like the Lord of the Rings prequels, the Hobbit trilogy, where that Ben the Bowman frickin' guy fires the shot that kills the dragon. That one shot from the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower is going to kill Kolek. Watch, 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 watch. There it is. There it is. There it is. Hit the shot. Save Eltharion. Get the shot. Ah, you missed. Reload. Reload. He's dying out there, man. We need this. If you hit that shot, Middle Earth is safe. Do it. Do it. Kolek's beating up on Eltharion. Do it. The Swords of Chaos are running in to support him. Guardian is proc. Can the Eagle Bolt Throwers take him down? Can they hit the shot? No, they miss again. Reload. You don't have much time. The fate of the world is in your hands. You have to hit the shot. Jesus Christ! And it was this day the realm of men failed because those fucking bolt throwers couldn't hit a giant dragon ogre big boy. Bard the Bowman. Got it. I think Ben the Bowman was better. I like mine more. I like my version. Rahagir's Pride run off some Chosen of Khorne. We weren't watching that because I was busy being stupid, which is well within my right as Sigmar's heir. Loud and Seeker are getting some more shots in. Eltharian's just trying to stall this out. He has a ton of healing he can give himself before his heal cap is reached. And Kolek's not looking too good. Rahagir's Pride actually just going to take the fight. I wonder if Eltharian goes in for a rear charge here. The Swords of Chaos will get a rear charge on him, but this might be the best shot he's going to get. Pops Apotheosis for some more healing. He dives in onto Kolek. But it matters not. The Dragon Ogre is just too thick. He's just too big. Are bolt throwers the worst artillery? After all these changes? I'd have to go through, but, like, they're up there. They're up there for the worst artillery. Still might be Vampire Coast mortars. Vampire Coast mortars are pretty trash. Empire mortars are also pretty bad. Bolt throwers aren't great. Really good value on all the mobility elements of Hayseed, and then his Chosen did very nicely. For Twist, it was a hell of a game. It was a hell of a scrap. You'll love to see it. Honestly, this Twist person, I don't know where they came from, but I'm here for it. Their games have been pretty good today. Like, memeing, shitposting, being stupid aside, Twist is actually, like, pretty good. Watching his gameplay, I can tell that he's, like, a very solid player. So, if he sticks around, I imagine you'll see a lot more of him in tournaments and stuff. Some people just hop in for the new player tournaments and either leave or just hang out for the new player tournaments, but if he actually, like, gets into the scene, he'll be pretty good. People posting builds in weird places. I gotta check in on the tournament and see how we're doing towards finals and see if people need me. Still 4 games left to be played. Everybody's in round 4. But, so the 4 games are happening simultaneously. So I'll give those a second. Let's look for more people we haven't cast yet. I think I've cast Orion. Yeah, he had the double giants. We've cast Shoxi. I haven't cast any Contrarian's Codex yet. Ooh, I haven't cast any Falling Star. Falling Star got pretty far in Battlesey's tournament. I'm trying to think. I think it was his Domination one. Battlesey hosted a Conquest and Domination tournament I helped out with, but I recognize Falling Star. He did pretty well. I don't know how far he got in the actual tournament, but the game I remember of his was good. So let's go. Codex versus Falling Star. Our first Lizardmen and our first Tomb Kings of the day. I'll get Scarbrand. I will get to your Scarbrand replay. But first, I gotta give some love to some people that haven't got cast yet. I got it. There's time. There's time, my friend. For Contrarian's Codex, we have Ushapti Greatbow, Chosen of the Gods Ushapti Greatbow ROR. Eyes of the Desert, Sportstalker ROR. Then a bunch of Skeleton Spears, some Tomb Guard with Halberds up front. You love to see it. Then a Necro Sphinx and a Kemrian War Sphinx. We have Arkin the Black on horseback with just Spirit Leech. And then a Necrotic with just his Restore Heal. On the other side, for the Lizardmen, Saurus Spears. Everywhere. How many is that? That is 6. Again, new player tournament. We're chilling the rules. It's max 5 of any unit. And shields don't make it a different unit to us. I know it does in quick battles, which is why I'm not being a dick about it. I'm just, like, noting it, so if the player is watching, they can hear that. But, yeah, so it'd be 5 Saurus Spears. Again, not a big deal. Just a fun new player tournament. We have 2 Clostodon Hunters. Now, that would be cheating. 2 Ripperdactyl Riders, one of which is the Clostodon Hunters. We have some Croxagors. One is a regular Croxagor, the other is a Sacred Croxagor, ROR, the Court of Waddle. Salon Mage Priest of Life with a Regrowth and Earthblood, and then a Bastillodon Rev Crystal with more healing. I don't like Lizardman builds like this, and here's why. Too much healing. There's a point where Lizardmen become all Anvil and no Hammer, And I feel like it's when they do this. If they double up on healing and then a tanky front line and then some tanky Crocscores, it's like, all right, are those two Ripperdactyls going to literally kill the entire enemy army? If the answer is no, then we are fucked. Meanwhile, Khemrian War Sphinx doing some terror routing and disruption, plus the Chosen of the Gods firing in on clumped up Saurus warriors is proving problematic, so the Lizardmen have already lost 2 of their Saurus. And that is a difficult start, but the Sacred Boxagor is running out, ready to say hello to a certain Khemrian War Sphinx. They're going to get a decent surround. They will get good damage onto these guys, but the Tomb King should be supporting them this entire time. Supporting the Khemrian War Sphinx, that is. And the War Sphinx did just get some buffs. So overall, I think this will be a good trade for the Tomb King still, but it's cool to see Sacred Crocscore doing Sacred Crocscore things. I'll never complain about that. Tomb Guard and Arkan holding back the Source Warriors for now, as, yeah, the Chosen of the Gods are doing numbers on the Court of Waddle. Their missile resistance isn't helping them too much here. Even the damage resistance from the Shield of the Old Ones isn't doing too much, as they're just getting shredded by the Ushabti Great Bows. That time might be at an end, however, as the Ripperdactyls fly in and absolutely mulch the Ushabtis. They'll get to the Chosen of the Gods next. If we can get a regrowth onto the Cohort of Waddle, maybe that can save them from their fate. They still have 11 models, so plenty left there to heal. The Khemrian War Sphinx is taking a lot of damage, and there is the regrowth I believe we have needed. Meanwhile, the Colossus Hunters are getting bodied by the Necro Sphinx. They have a bit of Saurus support and Crocscores, but still, that is a tough one. Cohort of Waddle either didn't get any healing or it's already worn off from the Rev Crystal, maybe? Don't know. Regular Ripperdactyl killed an entire Ushabti Great Bow, but Colossus Hunter Dive did not accomplish nearly as much, as the Sepulchral Stalkers held their own, plus the Necrosphinx peeled for them more effectively. Lizardmen are in dire straits, I must say. 1 restore is already used on the Khemrian War Sphinx to undo some of the damage the Lizardmen got. Chosen of the Gods running close to out of ammo. I guess that's a positive. You could try and spin it. Crocscore is going to deal with the Sepulchral Stalkers for a bit, but the 2 big kitty cats, uncontested, rampaging through Saurus Spears. I guess that's a positive angle we could spin for the Lizardmen, is late game you're going to get down to just Saurus Spears standing around these big kitty cats, so I guess they'll do a lot of damage. Lizardmen still have a lot of healing, so of course they can withstand quite a lot of punishment in this fight. Plus Hunter's trying to come back, but the anti-air fire of the Chosen of the Gods should rout them away. Again, the spread shots have no chance of missing that many models. Arkan might get sniped. Bastiladons are not something to underestimate. They do have bonus versus infantry, armor piercing, high weapon strength, so they can get a lot of work done onto Arkan, who's actually on foot. I thought he was on horse, but he's on foot. Saurus Warriors ain't no quitters, still grinding through the Tomb King's front line. Chosen the Gods, just a couple volleys away from being useless. But speaking of being useless, a dead Salon Mage Priest is not a good Salon Mage Priest, and he routs, meaning the Tomb Kings can easily walk him off the map. They have all the mobility pressure they could ever need with their big single entities that could just follow this Salon. If that Salon is allowed to come back for any reason, that is a catastrophic mistake from the Tomb Kings, and I will never forgive them. It does look like the Khemrian Necrosphinx is trying to get out here and deal with that. Some Ripperdactyls are fluttering around his head, but he ignores them entirely, getting those big blade arms a-churning as he runs outside the formation to make sure that Toad stays in his pond. It's Pillar of Bone. There's no pond nearby. You're stupid. You're stupid. I played the top 3 players in this tournament. I thought I was going to play noobs, pardon my language. Good luck to them. Who'd you end up playing? Winter. Also, is your name Winter on Total Tavern? Otherwise, I'm going to have no idea who I'm talking to. I'm scanning. I don't see a Winter on Total Tavern, so I have no idea who you are. If you don't want to reveal yourself on a YouTube stream, that also makes sense. If you played the top 3 players, I think I can backwards infer who you are. Let's find out. Scarbrand, Shirayuki, and then Interval or Hayseed. Who are you, mysterious figure? Now I'm invested. I don't know. I don't know who you are. I can't find it. Shirayuki? God! What up, David? No, you're not Shiryuki. Shiryuki's right there. Who are you, Winter? How dare you? Lepizu. Okay, they might be Lepizu. Let's look who Lepizu fight. Masked Twist. Very good. Shiryuki. Shiryuki's solid. Hayseed. Hayseed's solid. Who did Lepizu fight in the final round? Shoxy. Alright, if you are Lepizu, you beat Shoxy. You played them? Oh, okay. Let's wrap up this game before we get too distracted by malcontents. I'm kidding. He's Gingy. Who the hell did Gingy play? Was I just going through that? Interval. Okay, I did just go through that. Scarbrand. Shiryuki. Okay, you played Yashkov, though. You got some W's in there. Hey, we hope to see you around. We hope no one has a bad time and is deterred from hanging out with us. But if you hate us and want to leave forever, that's allowed. I'll allow it this time. That'd be you? Okay. Okay. I don't know anymore. I'm just getting yelled at. Tall men poke me till down. That is a hell of a title. Is that a Hellflare? Shoxy. Shoxy, you're insane. Okay, we're looking for people we haven't cast yet. I don't know if I've cast any Versoc. I don't know if we've cast any Winter. I have that replay just from the other side, so I'm going to delete that one just so I don't have to deal with it twice. I think I've cast Orion. There's more Winter. Versoc. So I don't know if we cast any Versoc yet. Otherwise, we're good. So I think if I cast this one... No. There's a different one. There. Scarbrand versus Winter. I think Winter and Versoc are the last two I have to do. Before I've gotten everybody who sent me something. You casted my Khorne versus Demons of Chaos right at the start. Alright, well then we have gotten Versoc. Scarbrand playing Scarbrand versus Winter playing Kislev, which are the forces of Winter. How thematic. Oh, Winter's not playing Kislev. Boo! Boo! Redo it. No, don't redo it. I'm being stupid. Alrighty, for Khorne, Scarbrand, bullied by myself in chat, mostly chat, is playing Scarbrand the Exiled, the bestest boy, with his bestest boy companion, Karanak with his summon and net, then Minotaurs with great weapons, Marauders of Khorne with dual weapons, and Minotaur... I said that one. Blood Shrine of Khorne, that's what I was thinking of. On the other side, for the forces of the High Elves. Good build. Good build. Imric with his full kit. Rahagra's Pride and the Fireborn. We have some Archers with Light Armor, Talons of Torquilada, front line of Spearmen, and Rangers. Da, 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 da. Is that a puppy? Yeah, that's Karanak. He's a good boy. Marauders of Khorne going to take a lot of damage from the Archers on the way in. No armor, no shields equals big problems for them. The High Elves, the only issue I could see is dogs closing in on the Archers all at the same time, so the Fireborn Rahagra's Pride can only be 2 places, and there's like, what, 3 dogs? No, there's 2 dogs, I guess. Yeah, they could peel both of them, maybe, theoretically. 2 Marauders lost half HP before even connecting with the front line. Chaos Warhounds of Khorne are going to get a rear charge on those armors. Armors? Archers. Struggling today. But Scarbrand is going to rampage the Fireborn, make sure they can't intercept any of those forces. And then he, Karanak, and some Minotaurs at Great Opens just pile into them, doing tons of damage, already half HP off the Fireborn. Earthblood Overcast trying to keep them up and at him, while Imric peels for the archers. Other archers are firing sideways into this area. They're in line formation, but they are firing over here, so good job to them. But man, the Fireborn get hit with a truck, and it just doesn't stop. Scarbrand's going to massacre them. Rest in peace to the Fireborn. Imric blows the Dragon Horn, trying to get a bit more melee attack out there for his forces. Help them a little bit here and there. Hagra's probably trying to help with the frontline fight, but Khorne has broken through, and they are now running down the line. They will break every fight on their way to victory. And Imric lands in them just to try and stop the madness, stop the killing, stop the violence. Archers firing while they can, but a summoned Fleshhound will pile straight into them and stop all that nonsense. Meanwhile, Minotaurs deal with the other ones. We still have some Spearmen here and there holding, but overall they're not holding well. And it is up to Imric to turn the tide. Scarbrand decides to 1v1 duel him. Imric with his fire resistance will do a little better against Scarbrand than some other foes might. He is also an impressive duelist in himself, but Scarbrand calls in some bros. He has no sense of honor, no sense of chivalry, and teams up on poor Imric. Wrathful Reaper is popped to give him about 1,000 weapon strength. Lord of Dragons nerfs him down to very little melee stats. Dogs have cleaned up the archers. The spearmen are all gone. And I honestly think there is probably a Sword of Khorne in the back pocket for Khorne that he could even take out this last spearman if he was feeling spicy. But he doesn't need to. It would definitely just be something he could do. Doesn't have to do. One more hit from Scarbrand. That should send Imric running, and that should send the whole High Elf army running. There. I think he got a hit in. Imric didn't route, so that's just me being a big old dummy. Axe him again. There we go. So Imric's on his way out. Everyone else is too, and this mage is currently silenced because she's too close to Karanak, the spooky doggo of Khorne. She can't regrowth Imric even if she wanted to. She can't do anything even if she wanted to. That is GG. Blood for the Blood God, indeed, Shakasi. Indeed. Right, tournament's probably ready for me to take it into the final stage now. Probably. Good game here from Winter and Scarbrand. Good game. It's tough. I don't love Imric versus a lot of the demonic factions. I feel like he just costs too much money for them. He is a Chad. But you can go like a little cheaper and then get a wider force. Because Slaanesh and Khorne and Demons of Chaos all have access to rampages, which can drag Imric to a ground and not favorable fight. Then he has a bad time. Okay, at this point, I think I've cast everybody at least once. And if I see anybody I don't recognize, I'll obviously hop in and cast them. But other than that, I could just start going through these and looking for ones that look fun. So excuse me while I get the tournament all figured out. We still have Jiwoon versus B6A6. Are either of them in contention for the top spot? If so, I'll wait for them. If not, no. Okay, so we have a three-way tie with people who went 4-0. So that last game that's getting played, I don't actually have to wait for it. Hey, Seed, you lost somewhere? Where did you lose? Why aren't you in the 4-0? What did you do? Hey, Seed. Hey, Seed, where did you lose? Oh, I also have to think of buy rounds. That's true. Hold on. I have to figure out where Hayseed lost because I'm getting mad. Oh, you lost to Contrarian Codex. Alright, no shame in that. No shame at all. And Contrarian Codex has a 4-0 because he had a buy round. Gotcha. Okay, so we have 4 people who went 4-0. Interval, Shiryuki, Scarbrand, and Contrarian Codex. Let me set up a little bracket quick, and then we'll get going on casting some more replays for y'all. Okay, so Interval, Shiryuki, Scarbrand, and Contrarian. With perfect runs, y'all made it to top 4. Cool. Mini bracket. Let's do Scarbrand, Interval, Shiryuki, Contrarian. I'll keep Contrarian away from Scarbrand since they literally just played in round 4. Wait, no. They played Hayseed. Scarbrand played... Wait, no. Frick. Contrarian played Hayseed. That's why Hayseed's not in this. All these guys went 4-0, so of course they never fought each other. Duh. BO1, get me replays, GLHF. Okay, so our top 4 is determined. They'll work on semifinals and finals. I will guaranteed cast those. But while we wait, let's cast anything that looks interesting. That's for Karth. I think that automatically is interesting. But that's a Skaven mirror with rattling guns, so we kind of have to. We have to. It's right there. Shiryuki and Winter. Winter with the Mad Max build of Skaven. We have Ikeclaw, who's probably on a spinny wheel of some kind, with 2 Doomflayers and a bunch of guns. That's Mad Max. That's metal. I didn't win the fourth. Boo. Alright, for the other side, for the less cool build of Shiryuki, we have Storm Vermin Halberds, Plague Monks, Skaven Slave Singers, Lord Skrulk, Avalanche Mortars, Natty Boop Sharpshooters, Ikit Zap Zap, a Plague Claw Catapult, and Clan Rats. Boo! Boring, dumb, stupid. Boo! On this side, the better build, the great build, triple Rattling Guns, Doom Flayers, plus Ikit Claws. He's also on a Doom Flayer. He's also on a Doom Flayer. And then some Night Runners, Plague Monks, Natty Boop Sharpshooters of their own, Fixtures Death Squad, and some more Plague Monks. Actually, both builds are pretty sweet. Memes aside, these are both very fun and diverse Skaven builds. Got a lot to love. Don't boo Plague Claws. I won't. I'm just being silly. The Rattling Guns are not going to have too much to do here, unfortunately. Rattling Guns are anti-air or anti-super large single entity units, which neither of those the Skaven really possess. So unfortunately, that is just not going to work out for these poor rats. But they're getting shots on the Avalanche Mortars. Scatter Shot, missing many a volley. Natty Booba Sharpshooters are also firing in, and those guys should do much better, much more quickly. As what the hell happened to Ikit Zap Zap? Oh, the Natty Boobos got their hands on Ikit Zap Zap first, and those guys are down and out. What can Ikit and the Doomflayers do? Libra Bonicus plus Flensing Ruin onto Ikit, and he's unfortunately taking that Flensing Ruin with him, with all the Doomflayers. So that is a bit of oopsie-poopsie damage there, but if the Doomflayers can get in here, there's lots of infantry they could just constantly harass and be annoying about. As the Red Skaven ranged is mostly shut down, the Red Skaven melee is doing fine. Ikit with his rear charge doing okay. Is that Flensing Ruin, is that just gonna, like, literally kill him? Because it feels like it's going to literally kill him. There, the Avalanche Mortars are down. Clan Rats are routing. And those Natty Boobos are out. Okay, Red's making a good comeback here. Red's doing all right. We have some Plague Monks that need new orders. They need to get into the fight, get into the fray. Wouldn't that be fine? It gets in a little too deep. It gets having some troubles getting out of here. He's surrounded. The other Doomflayer, trying to stop the Plague Claw Catapult, does get hit with Skrulk. and some Plague Monks. Plague Monks aren't as big of a problem, but Skrulk has good weapon strength and Contaminate, which is really good against low leadership factions like Skaven, cough, cough, wink, wink. So, their leadership's already faltering. They'll just get out of here. I hear the wum-wum of a Flensing Ruin, but I don't know where that is happening. Okay, I guess I'll just ignore it then. Nice Warp Lightning onto the front line, immediately routes off these Skaven Slave Spears, and the Plague Monks aren't faring too much better. We do have some Rattling Guns rallying. A full health Natty Boobos for this side is doing good. And Ikit is nice and safe. So Red's coming back, get it. And we have Viction's Death Squad gonna sneak around, do some sneaky stuff. Oh no, oh my god. The Avalanche Mortars came back, instantly deleted the Viction's Death Squad just before the Doom Flayers could get to them and shut all that nonsense down. And I died a little bit inside when Viction's Death Squad got deleted like that. That made me so sad. So the Plague Monks are charging into the jaws of hell itself as these Natty Boobos try and stay online, try and get some work done. They are currently sniping out Lord Skrulk and the Warlock Engineer, doing really good work of it, honestly. If Ikit could get his own Flensing Ruin down onto these guys, this game is actually in Red's hands. Holy, it's close. What up, Bavarat? Winter taking a Chad Skaven build, but also bringing it close. Now that's the best of both worlds. As Plague Monks have surrounded poor Ikit, doing a lot of damage. He's going to rout, and there's a Liber Bubonicus. That should seal his fate, and without Ikit, all of a sudden the red side is going to fall apart. Skaven is literally just Lord Snipe the video game. So as soon as Ikit dies, all these units are going to start routing. The Viction's Death Squad in the back will also rout soon here. Oh! Nuclear Ikit! Signaling the end times as we know them. Everybody's routing for the Reds. There they go. Oh, that Plague Monk's okay. The Natty Boobos, who did so much work for the red team. Ugh, incredible value on them, but they are now beset by Stormvermin Halberds. There's chaff coming for them. They're getting hit with slingers. There's not a whole lot they can do there. I don't know if even OP Doom Flayers can save this situation. As they get pelted by pebbles, they run away. Natty Boobo's gonna run away. Skaven Mirror, not a rat ogre in sight. Yeah. If only Rattling Guns weren't trash. Doom Flayers, where are most of your models? There they all are. They just got stuck on the Plague Claw Catapult. Army loss is in, and Winter, if you're still out there, that was my favorite game of the day so far. Hold your head high, my friend. Hold your head high. Rattling Guns got some okay value. Natty Boobos did fantastic. Doom Flayers did pretty well. Plague Monks, unfortunately, I mean, when you're just cutting down enemy Skaven Slaves and Clan Rats, you're not going to get a lot of value. And Ikit did fine. For Shiryuki, good value on Skrulk and the Warlock Engineer. They survived. Plague Monks did okay. Stormvermin Halberds did okay. Slingers, pretty well. Avalanche Mortars did fantastically. Plague Claw Catapult was annoying and hard to deal with. Ikit Zap Zap. I don't know, it was there. It did stuff, I guess. Kinda. Sorta. What the hell is this? Sorry, one of our semifinals just sent me a replay, and I'm like, there's no way you guys got a semifinal done. Okay, no, this wasn't the semifinal matchup. I was like, how did you get a semifinal done in like 4 minutes? Here's your opponent. I pick Korn. I pick Nurgle. Boom, done. Instantly done. All right. Let's look for some more good stuff. I haven't seen Torox in like hundreds of years, so I'm gonna cast that. But we also need some Versac games, because we only got one Versac in here, and he deserves more. Alright, Blobsauce told me this one wasn't very good, and it's Yucky Kislev, so I'm gonna nope out of there. Alright, we'll cast some Yashkaf versus Orion, but Versac, I haven't forgotten you. Yashkov sticking with Grand Vomitus. Will not abandon this man in his time of need. Demons of Chaos of Yashkov, we have the Angels of Decay, plagued drones with the Death's Head ROR, Grand Vomitus. Ooh, and he brought Rants Visitations this time in Stream of Corruption. Chaos Furies, Hounds of Blood Hunt, plus other Flesh Hounds, and then Plague Bearers mixed in with Bloodletters, Festering Stooges, and some Pink Horrors in the background. For the Beastmen, we have a Jabberslife, Torlox the Brass Bull, no Caster. No Caster is wild. Then we have some Minotaurs, Chaos Spawn, Butchers the Calvin Guard, a bunch of Centaurs, and Torlox. But no Caster is going to be kind of rough, and I like that a lot. Rancy Visitations onto the Jabberslife. I like that, because you might be like, why not Torlox? Torlox has Brass Body. He can just 40% damage resistance, a lot of that spell. And it's an expensive spell, so I like picking on the Jabberslife. No healing for that thing. He was looking for the Caster. There isn't one for the Beastman? Or is there? Whoa! Oh, okay. The Centaur's just getting herded. This is thematic. The Hounds of the Blood Hunt out for a hunt as these Centaurs get backed into a corner. And like any animal, when they're backed into a corner, they'll fight. They'll fight their way out, and they'll die horribly. But they'll try. Try their hardest to fight their way out. They're gonna die, though. I misplayed the rattling. It's okay. Anyway. Jibber Jabber up on the high ground, trying to get some good charging in as it does before it gets killed by Grand Vomitus over time. The Pink Horror is going to try and thread between the Plague Bearers and Bloodletters here, forcing the Centaurs into a bad situation. The Butcher's Calvin Guard also commit to that fight. We did get rid of one Centaur's throwing axes, but I'm worried all of these mobility elements for the Demons of Chaos have overextended for one kill, and they do need to hurry up and get back to the fight as the Jabber is still rolling through some of these guys. Front line of the Beastman's not going to be a problem. It's all these Centaurs and monsters and issues. That's going to be a problem. But, like, just killing Ungor herds? Nah. Plague Bearers and Bloodletters can do that in their sleep. Grand Vomitus, what can you do, my friend? What can you do? He's going to charge in, provide a little bit of terror. Spooky, scary potential. Right in front of these Minotaurs with great weapons, though. He's going to have to be careful. He's going to have to be careful. He's not being careful. I am concerned as the Death's Heads continue to fire away. Jabberslife getting nice and low, but Vomitus is now at the mercy of Minotaurs. We've seen this song and dance before. I am so afraid. It's a nice Stream of Corruption goes down, does a little bit of damage. He is fighting on top of Plague Bearers and Bloodletters, so at least he has support nearby. And his infantry forces are winning out, so the Chaos Spawn of Minotaurs will still be in over their heads a little bit. He didn't bring Fleshy Abundance this time, though, so he does have to be very careful with that health bar, as it's pretty much the only health bar he's going to get. He might get a little bit of healing here and there from Fecundity cast, but who knows if they're going to be there. Can you check DMs? We have a problem. Okay, one sec. Boom. I just have a quick tournament question I'm dealing with. Sorry about that. Kyle with the $10. Thanks for the great content. Dude, anytime, brother. Anytime. We are in tiebreakers. So our one of four that played perfect you versus Scarbrand, then finals. Alright. Sorry, one of our semifinalists didn't catch the message where we're doing a semifinals. Okay. Hopefully that has been resolved, but we'll continue on now. Chaos Furies of Khorne diving onto Centaurs. The Centaurs are also dealing a lot of damage to the Flesh Hounds of Khorne. With Ungor Spirit support, they might be able to get those guys demonic instability crumble. With the Hounds of the Blood Hunt rear charging in, though, I have to think the Demons of Chaos will overall win this engagement eventually. As for the main fight, Torox found his way onto Grand Vomitus. If Grand Vomitus can get into the sky, the Demons of Chaos are actually in a decent position. The Beastmen's back is starting to break, and they have a really hard time rallying after they've started routing off and stuff. So yeah, Grand Vomitus gets away. If he can get up into the sky, he'll be okay. Jabberscythe getting very, very low as the Angels of Decay are sniping it out slowly but surely with their grenades. That Chaos Spawn is eventually going to die. And now the Beastmen army is essentially down to 1 Centaur throwing axes, Butch the Scout Guard under half HP, a nearly full health Minotaur with great weapons, and a nearly full health Taurox, which is just not a ton. And the Demons of Chaos have a full health Angels of Decay, a lot of infantry that's at half health or just slightly above, and then Vomitus, who can heal up with a Fecundity if he gets one, which usually Nurgle Lords on Demons of Chaos tend to get Nurgle abilities. So that'll be okay. Oh, wow. Taurox took a lot of damage from those Angels of Decay. These things are amazing. Alfredino might have been onto something, you guys. Alfredino might know a thing or two about this game, as he was hyping these guys up in our last interview, and they just did so much work onto Taurox. That is insane. Now, even with Brass Body, I'd still cast Rancid Visitations on him just to get rid of Taurox, get rid of that leadership. Butch the Scout Guard are fighting alone, getting dove on by Grand Vomitus. They cause terror, so they can't be terror routed. And this is the last hope for the Beastmen. I think they gotta abandon Taurox. He's too far gone. I think you gotta like rear charge in with these Centaurs and maybe try and get the Minotaurs in this situation to kill Grand Vomitus. But even then, it's too late. The game went from even, maybe Beastmen slightly favored, to all of a sudden army losses in the blink of an eye. And those Death's Heads are MVPs. 2,900 value on them. Yeah, that is insane value. Orion not taking a caster. A little odd. I think you should always take a caster, but in new player tournaments, we tend to see people just say, fuck it, I'm not bringing a caster, you can't make me. So, it's not shocking. Could also be a strategy if he was worried about them getting sniped. He just took Taurox, who's really hard to snipe, and then skip the caster, who was just going to die to Rancid Visitations anyway. You could argue that. I still generally think magic is so powerful in this game, and casters are so cheap if you take them, like, with one spell and that's it. It's usually worth it just to take it anyway. Alfredino knowing how to play, get out of here? I won't get out of here. I work here. What? You can't tell me what to do! Alright, let's take a look. Skaven vs. Wood Elves. It's fine. I'll cast if I need to. Nothing about it's really, like, screaming out to me. Skaven versus Be'lakor. Fine. There's some stuff in there that's pretty cool. I imagine this might turn into just Be'lakor trying to solo the whole army, but there's regular demonettes, there's seekers. There's some things to be excited about here, so we'll do it. No caster. Khorne's influence is too strong. It's far too strong. Bam, bam, boom, we're into it. Seekers spawned in the Vanguard. Already going to try and dive onto the Night Runners and Gutter Runners of the Skaven. This will not end well for the Seekers. What is it, you? Alright, sorry. It was an important call. I'm back. Everybody shush. I'm sorry. Okay, we're back. Ugh. Work things. Alright, Night Runner's getting run down by Seekers. The Seekers are going to do good damage on the charge, and that's neat, but that's a 450 gold unit. Seekers are 1,000 gold, and they are about to get deleted off the map, so not a good trade overall for the Seekers, as the Skaven just had way more support in this area. They're going to have to fall back. Take a lot of damage. Chaos Furies of Khorne diving down onto the Gutter Runners, but again, this is why you're seeing so many Gutter Runners and Night Runners in the meta, is they can defend themselves and their skirmish units. They can run away. They are very, very good units considering their cheap price point. Demonets moving up. We still have Blue Horrors, Chromatic Abominations and stuff trying to get here, but the Skaven are largely a kite force. They won't take the Demonet fight straight up. This is a bit of a mistake, though. This is way too many units piling up on each other, and if Be'lakor had Pit of Shades, he would kill them all, but he doesn't. He only has the Withering to abuse their leadership. So, fortunately for the Skaven, this won't get punished, but still shouldn't do it. Elsewhere, Demonettes are getting run down by Rat Ogres and Ikit. They aren't loving that difference in mass, and these Demonettes do get to the Poisoned Globes who are harassing them. Gonna kill the little Warlock Engineer Skaven very quickly with their high armor piercing and great stats. But the Demons of Chaos are having a tough time versus the Skaven here. Gutter Runners are so strong in this matchup, even before their buffs, but with their buffs, they are a must-take, and they're all performing very well. Demonet's about to fade away. Be'lakor is still fighting and doing well in the center fight here. He's getting close to routing these Storm Vermin at literally full HP. Brutal. Brutal, brutal. Little wins for the demons here and there. Be'lakor, wherever he is, the leadership sinks so much they might get some routes, and this Rat Ogre and Skaven Slave area completely broke apart. But the Skaven Skirmishers are all in good shape, even though some of them are running out of ammo. Be'lakor is taking a lot of damage, and he doesn't have the most healing. He has a bit from when Skaven around him are getting close to routing. He'll get some healing, but he needs a bit of health before that can be a thing. There's some Demonettes trying to help him out with that. It throws in a quick Flensing Ruin, which he has Shadow Shroud. If he pops it, that's 60% damage resistance against the spell. He hasn't popped it just yet, so he might have already used it when he was sitting in those halberds. Not a terrible choice, for sure. Just going to keep my eye on him to see if Shadow Shroud pops up, but it doesn't look like it is. As Ikit tries to kill all these guys, but his Rat Ogres are routing. He's going to have to be a little careful here. Screamers could be really annoying for him. No Shadow Shroud out from Be'lakor, so he is going to take the full damage, and now he's trying to run down some Gutter Runners who are just kiting him out. Be'lakor, not the most armor. Even without Flensing Ruin, he would have 45 armor total. So Gutter Runners still do well. In this matchup, none of the Demons of Chaos, besides the Blood Crushers of Khorne, have significant armor, I'm trying to think of anything else that has decent armor on the Demons roster. Not a lot. Demonettes are fading away, much like the chances of the Demons of Chaos in this game. Skaven too strong, Skaven too powerful. Everybody's saying the Demons of Chaos are the best faction in the whole world, but where's the love for the Skaven? Howling Morpgale locks Be'lakor in place as Ikit tries to get away. Rat Ogres will charge in, though this might actually start proccing his healing a little bit as these guys get super low. So Be'lakor is going to heal up a little bit while in this fight. There's his Shadow Shroud, but we might have wanted to save that for the next Flensing Ruin, because the next Flensing Ruin will definitely come up while it's on cooldown, and that should end this game. But still, Be'lakor is trying to heal it up. Look at him go. Look at him healing. He's at 60 to 40% charge, somewhere in there, depending on who you ask and when you ask it. Soul Grinders have good armor? Okay, Hayseed. Okay. How dare you come in here and undermine my authority when I'm wrong about things? Ikit's just going to roll some Blue Horrors, but I think we're all waiting for the next Flensing Ruin. That'll just end the game. Be'lakor's even going to fly away. Even he's scared of it. He doesn't want to deal with it. He thinks the Chromatic Abominations and the other Blue Horrors can just win the game without him, so he's like, I'm going to avoid the Flensing Ruin. I'm going to get out of here. Oh, fuck! Army losses! No! No! I was so close to executing my master plan of Be'lakor things. And then he dies. And Bloodthirsters have good armor. You can't have a Bloodthirster and Be'lakor. Silly. Nice job, Centurion Codex. Gutter Runners. Killing it. Globes did fine. Night Runners did fine. Rat Ogres did fine. team effort. For Versock, Bellicor struggled. Demonet's actually popped off. All right, Demonets, I see you. Let's go. Seekers, a bit of a misplay, but also more of just showing why Seekers kind of suck, is you're paying 1,000 gold for an armor-piercing, super squishy bad unit, where it's like, oh, I could just grab Screamers or Furies, and they're cheaper. They're as squishy, which is sad. I don't know why Seekers didn't get buffed in the last round of Demon buffs. Seekers have always been bad. Bring both. I mentioned Blood Crushers. I mentioned the Blood Crushers. That one you can't catch me out on. Oh yeah, I've been wanting to cast this because this just looked silly. Scarbrand versus Top Pot, but look at this fucking Empire build. He's taking the Gotrek Starbreaker special of the hero core of all Sigmarites. Volkmar and double Warrior Priest. I still always insist that you should take a caster. Even if you're doing this combo, just do Volkmar and a Warrior Priest and then a caster, because magic is so good. But it is Chad. It's thematic in Chad, which is usually why Gotrek brings it. For the Demons of Chaos, we have triple Fiends, some Furies, Zvark the Feathered Prince with blue and pink fire, blue horrors and bloodletters. Usual stuff. And for the Sigmarites, a Warrior Priest, 2 Warrior Priests even. They both have the Grand Hammer of Sigmar, Soulfire, and Shield of Faith. Volkmar also has grand versions of all those spells, plus his Bound Banishment up on his altar. We have Archers all around with their fire damage from being next to Zealots of Sigmar, Frontline of Spearmen, double Hellstorm Rocket Battery. In the trees, we have some flanking Flagellants. Some fierce flanking Flagellants. And this is a full Sigmar Faith build. Now, the Sunmaker is very popular, and it's in a lot of Empire builds. There's a reason for that. It shoots out all of its ammo so quickly that it can get its shots off before it loses any models, and it's much more accurate, and it does a lot more damage. Basic Hellstorm rocket batteries couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, are terrible, and they have a ton of ammunition, but it takes them way too long to get their damage out before Chaos Furies and Blue Fire of Tzeentch is going to take them out like that. Hellstorm rocket batteries, regular, you suck. The Sunmaker is incredible. Both rocket batteries are shut down. The Empire has no mobility, no Empire Knights or anything that can run back here and really take care of those Chaos Furies, so Hellstorm rocket battery crews are left to fight for themselves. And to be honest, they just didn't have enough faith in Sigmar, so maybe they deserved it. Maybe they deserved what happened to them. As the Fiends try and plow through the Spearman front line, they get into the Archers, start to cause some disruption as Blue Horrors fire over the top. Lots of stuff is starting to rout, but there come the Circles of Doom! Look at all the circles! Circle formation, Shields of Faith, 40% damage resistance, but you're still Archers, so you're going to die. But circles are cool. In the middle of the Venn diagram, there's Volkmar living his best life, but the circles start to wear off, and the Empire's fate is looking far from glorious. Soulfire Bombardment. Take that, you heathen scamba! Wasn't that much damage. Oh, crap. Now we're all gonna die. Somehow the Sigmarites are actually doing okay on the balance of power, which is the most fraudulent thing I've ever seen. And I've seen those SpongeBob popsicles that look nothing like SpongeBob. That's a Chaz build, maybe even a Hunter. I like that. I like that 5 for biting. That's a thinker, but it comes through. Volkmar loves Venn diagrams. Alright, Flagellants fighting side by side with the Warrior Priest. Soulfire Bombardment on top of Zvark. It doesn't even break his barriers as he continues to cleave through the faithful. Fiends of Slaanesh have surrounded Volkmar, and Volkmar's like, do you know who I am? I dominated Warhammer 2! And they're like, what, bro, what's a Warhammer 2? As the Fiends just take him to task. Soporific Musk lowering his melee defense down to 15 as they eat him alive. Grand Theognis no more. You're getting murdered, dude. It's extra messed up, because if you know anything about Sigmarite lore, they used to have their capital in Nuln, but that temple fell because Slaaneshi cultists infiltrated. And the Grand Theognis, way before Volkmar's time, but the last Grand Theognis was like, maybe Slaanesh goody good. So, This is just kind of the demons of Sigmarite past coming to get them. The fiends are like, we recognize you. We recognize that chariot. Come back, precious. Gaze of Fate as the eyeball of chaos stares down at Volkmar. Svark lands in, more tentacled monsters come for him, and Volkmar, he's only human after all. How long can he truly resist the pure, rapturous excess of weird, squidly monsters, like turbo blasting you, I guess? I don't know. Slaanesh things I don't really understand. This is a Khorne tournament, after all. Can't indulge in too much Slaanesh excess. The banishment was wild, Trogdor. I think it was on the screen, but I don't think I actually like looked at it at all. I kind of blanked it out, as is my birthright. Volkmar and the Flagellants fighting back to back. I guess we could zoom in and watch Volkmar go down. Alright, where even are the Flagellant bodies? So, Flagels, where are you in here? There's one. So if I highlight him, they should turn red. Some of them are on the ground. Are they actually dead? 4 models. And I can't even find them in the bodies. Oh, okay. That's not good. Oh! Oh! That was horrifying! Did you see that? Did you hear that? There was like a thump. Like a thump, and then just a geyser of blood, and he was gone. That was... Oh. Turbo blasting sounds pretty great right about now. Alright, Kyle gets what's up. Well, good game from Scarbrand. Top Hot with the thematic builds. Always a pleasure. They're no match for Fiends. Fiends! Also, basic Hellstorm still suck. Fiends, though! Yeah. I hate them. Okay, so there's that. Boop, bop. Okay. Codex versus Shiryuki semifinals is done. Both players sent me the replay, so I actually have no idea who wins. So let's cast that now before I accidentally get spoiled. So this is a semifinal between Contrarian Codex and Shiryuki. Both of these players in the Swiss stage went 4-0. And this is a semifinal to see who gets to the finals versus the winner of Scarbrand Chan and Interval. Which, that game is ongoing. It is not complete yet. For Contrarian's Codex, we have Grand Cathay. Shiryuki repping the Skaven. Tentacles reign supreme. Always do. Always do and always have. Now, double Skyjunk versus Skaven is bold. Skaven have a good amount of range damage out there, but the Skyjunks are tankier than I ever expect them to be, so I... Oh, fine. Do your little speech turn.
Against the Celestial. Let us show them their hubris in the moments before their deaths. Cathay, with me!
You done? Do I get to talk now? Alright. Anyway, Skyjunks always have more health than I give them credit for. So, I guess it works. We have Jade Warrior Crossman, 1 Crane Gunner, which is going to have to quickly get in range of that. It gets Zap Zap if it wants to do anything about it. Jade Warrior Halberds, Peasant Long Spears, some Jade Lancers. Peasant Horseman in the Vanguard, and Yembo. With Shem's Burning Gaze, Net, and then I imagine his Execution, yes. Now I am suspicious of this Grand Cathay build. We'll see, but I think the Skaven should do quite well here. We have Ikit Zap Zap, Avalanche Mortars, Natty Boop Sharpshooters, so a lot of good stuff there. Skaven Slave Slingers, Storm Vermin Halberds, a front line of Skaven Slaves. We have the Dwarf Thing Menace, which is really good versus Grand Cathay. Rad Ogres, and then Ikit Claw with Flensing Ruin and Howling Warp Gale. Yeah, the Skaven have a lot of tools here. Based off of the builds alone, I would be very, very Skaven favored at the moment. Alright, 1 second. Sorry. There's a finals thing. So I got replays for the other semifinals, so I'm going to ping all 4 of them and say, hey, who's ever in finals? Who is ever in finals, your opponent is ready. I actually don't know who, so I'm gonna leave before the spoilers. But yeah, go fight each other. Alright, so our finals should be getting underway. I actually have no idea who it is, but hopefully they figure that out amongst themselves. Anyway, as I was saying, I think the Skaven build has a really good shot. Warp lightning cannons, still punishing that sky junk. Slow and steady, down to half HP. Cathay shall answer? No. Storm Demon onto the Crane Gunners. Skyjunk's firing in. Now, the Skaven are a little clustered up, which means that the Skyjunks are doing a lot of damage because even the shots that miss will hit something else. I think the Skaven probably should have spread out by now. And the Crane Gunners actually getting into range of the Avalanche Mortars uncontested is going to be a bit of a problem. Because I'm worried the Skaven are dividing their fire too much. Like, they need to focus up and kill some stuff, whereas they've done a lot of damage to the Skyjunk, but it's still functional. The Crane Gunners got in range and are killing off the Avalanche Mortars. That's why I'm worried. Avalanche Mortars trying to get volleys off, but they're getting sniped out. And they're returning fire onto the Crane Gunners? No, they're going for these Jade Warrior crossbows. Their scatter shot's doing much better against tightly formed formations. The Avalanche Mortar team did rout, and now the trap is sprung with the Peasant Horsemen coming out of the trees. They are going to slam into the Avalanche Mortars to keep them routing. Looks like the Dwarf Thing Menaces are trying to get them, but still there should be a little bit of damage, and maybe just keep the Avalanche Mortars tied up for a bit. Natty Boobos and It Gets Zap Zap still online. The Crane Gunners have already rallied. This Skyjunk, very low on HP, but kind of like I keep saying about mages. I mean, Skyjunks are like, who cares about their HP as long as they're still shooting, so as long as it isn't routing, it's doing its job. Now, very good peeling here from the Skaven, taking out the Peasant Horsemen entirely, and the Avalanche Mortars have plenty of leadership, so they'll come back in just a second. That is a big win for them. Skaven up on the balance of power. And the Crane Gunners are back, firing a little bit at Claw, getting some poke out, while Hazel's in the background doing something. Is Grace home? Okay. I don't know what Hazel's doing. Whatever. Skaven shooting continues, and this Skyjunk is about to die as Yembo gets hit with a Flensing Ruin Overcast. I don't know. Oh, he's netted. I was going to say, I don't know why Ikit's sitting perfectly still here. That's a little concerning. But he's taking about a third of his HP, and Yembo does have that execute on standby if Ikit ever gets too low. So Skyjunk is routed off. The Avalanche Mortars are back to clear out the random Cathay infantry. Skyjunk escaping Ikit Zap Zap. Does it? Oh, it goes down in the background, fluttering to the ground. Rest in peace, Balloon. Rest in peace. The Jade Lancer is trying to get around the sides as archers have gotten in range of Natty Boop Sharpshooters and the Skaven Slave Singers. They're dealing a lot of damage back. Do have bronze shields on those Natty Boobos. A little bit of shield breaker in for the Crane Gunners, so I think they actually have silver shields when they're not getting broken like that. As I keep getting pings on my phone. That other balloon has run almost out of ammo. It's a little concerning. If this just gets into a slap fight, though, Cathay will probably win. I mean, they still have Jade Warriors and Jade Warrior Halberds, for God's sakes. Jade Lancers get a rear charge in. The Rat Ogre is a little slow on the defense. Ooh, and that's a mistake. Full health Rat Ogre and a full health Dwarf Thing Menace chasing off a random Peasant Horseman. So the Avalanche Mortars will get taken out. Ikit Zap Zap should be fine. Warp Lightning Cannons are shockingly tanky for, like, literally no reason. But Jade Lancers die for the effort. And still, we could come down to Ikit Claw getting killed off by Yembo in some fashion, and then Yembo turns into his dragon form and terrorites everything. That is a realistic outcome here. Another net of ammo talk down. Crane Gunners trying to get their shots off on Ikit, and again, they're just trying to tickle that HP pool down enough so that this guy can run up and execute. Which they're trying to. 2 seconds left on the net. Takes another volley. 2,500 HP. I don't know how much his little execute does, but it does do a lot. It gets Zap Zap running out of ammunition. This was an artillery fight, if I've ever seen one. And Howling Mork yell back at him to lock Yembo in place while he gets shot at by Natty Bubos in the distance. Nice pokes onto him. He has no healing. He's not like Zhao Ming where he just gets a crazy heal all of a sudden. What up, Scott MC? How you doing? Hope you are good. I have 5 pings, this is important. Sorry. Who the fuck is pinging me so much right now? Okay, they aren't about this tournament, so I can carry on and check those pings later. Just to make sure it wasn't like the finalists were having issues or something. Yembo throws out his execute, kills Claw from 1/3 HP, and that could be all Cathay needs to get back into this game. Skaven slaves running forward, but their leadership is already faltering, even though there's nothing nearby to stop them. They're thinking about running away, and Yembo, being a big spooky dragon, is going to do his best to win out here. I don't know what he does about the full health Rat Ogres. I don't know what he does about the full health Doomflayer ROR. But that was the best he could hope to do. Routes off Natty Boobos again before trying to get back into the sky. I like that a lot. If he can get up and off the ground away from the Rat Ogres. Because if you get to a late game where he still has the Jade Warrior Halberds, he could fall back to those and then force the various large things to fight him on that. Skydrunk has 3 shots left. Zap Zap has 1. Skydrunk should be fine. And it fires down at the Storm Vermin. Only gets off like half of a shot before for some reason stopping, which is a little weird. Let's hit again. Zap Zap is out of ammo. Two leadership on this thing as slingers start to shoot at it now. Skydrunk ignoring the slingers. They will eventually take it down. Its leadership falls to -1 and it is going to rout. Yenbo in the back is fighting on top of Peasant Long Spears, and Peasant Long Spears are a hell of a drug, but still, that is a lot of Rat Ogres and Doomflayers you're trying to fight back here, my friend. And yeah, he immediately he's getting orders to try and leave now, but he's kind of stuck in here. He's getting jostled to and fro. Grand Cathay falling very far behind. We have a full health Jade Warrior wandering off into the distance. And Yenbo is going to transform back into human form to try and save himself, but army losses cannot be negated that way. Shiryuki going to finals! But who will join them there? Our other semifinals also done, so I'll pop over and check that out. Jade Warriors, all of the melee infantry, honestly, of Cathay got like 0 value. Skyjunks didn't have a great showing. Crane Gunners did well. Yumbo did well. That's about it. For Shiryuki, Skaven Slaves just had to die for the glorious cause. Slingers did okay. Natty Boobas did okay. Death Avalanche Murders did okay. It Zap Zap 2,800 value is the real winner. GG. No. Okay. Okay. So now we got to figure out who's in finals against Shiryuki. We know Shiryuki's up there. We know Shiryuki's out and about, trolling around, being a degen. But who will face them? It will be Scarbrand the Exiled or VM's Interval. Scarbrand playing Demons of Chaos with double Exalted Pink Horrors. Both are Bronze Chevron versus Nurgle. Oh, I haven't seen Nurgle in forever. Like, real Nurgle. Not Demons of Chaos pretending to be Nurgle. Real Nurgle. I'm so used to vids I forgot I couldn't skip between matches. Oh, I'm sorry, Kyle. I'll try and be fast, just for you. Be super fast. Alright. 4 Blue Horrors of Tzeentch, some Bloodletters of Khorne, 2 Exalted Pink Horrors, strange, 2 Fiends, a Changebringer, and Svarog with Pink and Blue Fire. On the other side, 4 Nurgle of Interval. We have a Deathcaster with Aspect of the Dread Knight, and then Spirit Leech. A Nurgle caster with just Rancid Visitations as well. Chaos Furies of Nurgle, that immediately charge into some Changebringers. Nurgling frontline, Marauders Nurgle secondary, 1 Chaos Warrior in the back, and then 3 Chaos Knights. Alfredino said Nurgle is ass. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, and there's 2 little throwing axes I missed. They must have been beneath my screen as I was scrolling past them. Throwing backwards into the Fiends of Slaanesh, doing what damage they can as the Changebringers retreat. Blue Horrors, in the meantime, just going to fire at Nurglings, try and take those guys out for free. And a side shot of a blue fire hits the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle in the face. Okay. Bloodletters fighting against Chaos Furies. It looks like the Changebringers baited them down into that fight once again. These other Fiends are falling back away from the skirmish cav since they couldn't catch those guys, and the battle is beginning in earnest. Nurglings filing into their horrible, horrible deaths under all this blue fire and pink bolts of Tzeentch. And a nice Gaze of Fate. Ooh, Gaze of Fate into a Fiend's free charge while these guys are getting shot, plus some throwing axes landed in them because the throwing axes are throwing at the Fiends. So really good play there from the Demons of Chaos. Though the Chaos Knights of Nurgle are just holding strong. It's a Rancid Visitation's Overcast that's trying to kill off the Fiends, snipe them out instead of worrying about Svarik. Interesting. I don't hate it. I just had never thought about that at all, so I don't have feelings on hand to just pull out like, yep, I feel this way about those. The Changebringers so far have not had much issue staying up in the sky and being healthy and safe. They are now firing back on the throwing axes that could potentially do any damage to them. Kind of curious the Rancid Visitations went towards the Fiends and not them, if you're going to use it on anybody that's not the Lord. Blue Horrors running out of ammunition. The Exalted Pinks have no such issues, but oh, that is a lot of damage onto the Marauder Horsemen of Nurgle, and Fiends even get a surround onto the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle, just to make sure he can't cast any more Rancid Visitations in his time. They're going to try and take him out. Leave the Lord for later, but Spirit Leech isn't nearly as threatening as Rancid Visitations is. The Fiend's going to get that big snipe off. Nurgle falling behind with the balance of power. Demons of Chaos holding for now. The Demons of Chaos, momentum can change very quickly when you have Demonic Instability. All of a sudden, your entire front line can just fall apart in the blink of an eye, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that, as these Blue Horrors look like they're about to die. Bloodletters could die in the next charge, too. Changebringers at half ammunition, but the Nurgle force is looking pretty depleted for their efforts. A blue fire down the side of these Chaos Knights of Nurgle as the Changebringers turn and fire, just deleting these Chaos Knights who are trying to get a charge onto the Fiends of Slaanesh. Both Exalted Pink Horrors still up and alive, firing in where possible. And that is looking maybe like a GG here. As the Demons of Chaos are proving rather unstoppable in this moment. Chaos Warriors and Nurgle just filtering into the Changebringer's fire. Changebringer's not even focusing on Lord sniping. They're just killing anything that comes near them. This Demons of Chaos build has a nice mix of everything except for Nurgle. Yeah, I don't know if they had Nurglings or not. I think they might have just gone with everything besides Nurgle. Aspect of the Dread Knight, Overcast is out. Magic attacks plus leadership and then plus terror for these guys. Just stops them from terror routing mostly, but the balance of power is real bad. This bolt of change is probably going to end it in 3, 2, 1. That's going to be army losses. GG! Bop. Aww. Boo! I was wrong again. I hate being wrong all the time. I was on a tear there where I could predict army losses pretty effectively, and that is not the case anymore. I am wrong. Wrong. So finals will be Scarbrand the Exiled versus Shirayuki. Well played to VM Interval. I hope to see them in future tournaments. For Contrarian Codex, I do not hope to see you in future tournaments. I hope you win several lotteries, get billions of dollars, and have so much fun on constant cruises around the world and buying your yachts and buying a private plane that you forget about Warhammer 3 and you move on. Y'all thought I was going to be toxic, but flipped the script. Alright, let's take a look through these and see what's up. Hayseed with his Famir Rush versus some Lizardmen. Okay. I don't really want to watch Brettonia just cycle charge these poor little Chaos Dwarves. I've seen enough Brettonia cycle charging since April of last year when they got their changes that I'm good. That could be fun. That could be fun. That could be fun. That could be fun. There's a lot of Beastmen in the world, but there's not a lot of Rakarth in the world. We've watched a lot of Khorne today, and I do have to end the stream at some point. So, I'm going to skip this one. We've watched a lot of Skaven today. And I have another Pride replay. So it's not like we're skipping all of Pride, so I'm going to skip this one. We can cast these. I don't know about that one. I'm thinking about it. Do we have another twist replays? No, we don't. Okay, I can cast these 5. That's fine. Oh, our finalists just came in. Cool. All right. Tournament is over. I won't have to be distracted anymore receiving replays because we have them all, but let's cast the finals in case anybody is just here for the finals, and then they can leave while we cast other stuff that I just find fun. How about that? This is finals, Scarbrand the Exile versus Shiroyuki. I actually don't know who won. I just grabbed the first replay sent to me. Alright, for Scarbrand. Brought triple Screaming Skull Catapult, double Kemrian War Sphinx, a front line of skeletons mixed in with Tomb Guard, but all of them spear variants. Grand Hierophant Cathay on horseback with 3 spells. Vengeance, Protection, and Curse Blades. A Necrotect with Restore for the big kitty cats, and then some Carrion to do a little bit of chasing if anything routes. Cool. On the other side for Grand Cathay, we have 1 Grand Cannon, 2 Crane Gunners, a bunch of Jade Warrior Crossmen, looks like 3 of those. Front line of Jade Warrior Halberds with Peasant Long Spears, and then Jade Lancers, and Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon, with just Final Trans in his Breath deck. So Scream Skull Catapults need to kill the cannon, because then you can force these guys into you, but Cathay is going to have to realize quickly that they need to be the ones moving up. Because 1 cannon cannot outduel 3 Scream Skull Catapults, but 2 Crane Gunners and a cannon definitely can. But the Crane Gunners aren't in range right now, so they can't participate in the fight that's going on. Does not look like they're going to move up, so they're going to take some free damage. They are getting to shoot at Carrion, but that's fine. Carrion are pretty whatever. As far as the Tomb King's battle plan goes, they're also getting some shots onto the Tomb Guard with Halberds. So I wonder if they're just content to take the fire from the Scream Skull Catapults and shoot at everything else, acknowledging they might lose their ranged units, but just not going to participate in that fight. It could be, that could be what he's deciding. I would disagree, but, you know, I doubt he's, just not doing anything about it. Jade Lancers need to dive in on these Carrion that have reached the back line. Not sure he saw those ones coming in. So there's a big Final Transmutation onto Cathay and some bros. But already 1 Crane Gunner is routing, another one's taking significant damage. But the cannon is still firing away as my mouse dies briefly. Scream Skull Catapult, still 3 out of 4 models, and the other 2 are untouched. Plus those Screaming Skulls do have a leadership debuff, plus the damage you're taking, plus getting shot by artillery debuff. So it's making this front line a lot easier to route for the Tomb Kings as they run through, as the Jade Warrior's already pushed off. Second Crane Gunner is also almost routing, but we still have a cannon online and firing. Zhao Ming dives into the fray, stands among his men, proud and resolute, instead of actually doing anything. He's just going to stand around and be a figurehead, I guess. And another terror route comes in from the big cat because of that take cover from the Screaming Skull Catapults. They're doing a great job supporting this rush with the Tomb Kings right now. As the kitty cats will prove rather unstoppable, Zhao Ming's going to have to get something done. It looks like he's going to turn to his dragon form just so he has more mass and speed, so he can actually catch the cats and stop them in place. For Cathay, probably the best way to try and win this game is to somehow clear out all the skeletons and force the enemy just to be single entities against you, but those Scream Skull Catapults are making that so hard as they're making everything route instantaneously. Ah, kitty cat. So the cats are romping around, living their best lives, chasing off anything from Cathay that has run away. The other kitty cat is busy causing things to run away. And now Carrion are going to join in the efforts to chase things off. Looks like only one Carrion survived the onslaught. But he's out here, he's doing some stuff. And the other cat's actually coming back to the fight. Not going to chase off these guys on the high hill, which I definitely think you should. It looks like they want a 2v1 Zhao Ming instead. A decent choice. I would definitely prefer just chasing the things off the battlefield, but Tomb Kings are in a good spot. Maybe they're just feeling a little overconfident, instead want to take the cool-looking 2v1 duel against this dragon. But then they both leave. So if you're leaving, why don't you chase down the things? Chase them down! How are Scream Skulls doing on ammo? Oh god, they still have a ton left. I feel like there's no good players playing Cathay these days. To be fair, you're watching a new player tournament. Like, to just throw a little caveat in that one. But it's true. Like, in the Warpstone Cup, Cathay was either banned a lot or not played a ton. Sipa played them and got a win versus Segos with them. But generally, Cathay have issues of being low agency, so high-level players don't usually like to play them because they can't do very much. It's just kind of like, is your build strong enough to win? If yes, win. If not, no. Hurtful. Hey! I was just saying. I mean, if you watch Alfredino play fucking Cathay, they'll look pretty good. Zhao Ming is just getting ground down by spears and halberds at this point. I mean, Cathay has, like, nothing left on the battlefield, and the Cameron War Sphinx is running around, chasing stuff off. I think the writing is on the wall. Army losses is almost going to hit. And Zhao Ming has no way of getting his heal now, because even if he takes damage, he's going to take so much damage that army loss will hit, and then he won't get his heal. So it's not even like he'll grind it out to the very end. Give me minus 25 gold on Jade Warriors. I'm happy for now. Lies and slander. Oh yeah, dwarves are just Cathay but better. Cathay got some nerfs and dwarves got a ton of buffs. Yeah, dwarves are insanely overpowered. Zhao Ming, buddy, how are you still in this? Accept the army losses. Accept your fate, young Skywalker. There it is. GG's, good run from Shirayuki on the day. If you're keeping track of game score, went 5-1. Not bad. At all. Cathay is dwarves, but fun. They are more fun than dwarves. Scrimskull Catapult's not going to get their credit because they don't get a ton of damage value, but that leadership debuff was gigantic for Skarbrand to just run over everything. You see, what sucks about this now, though, is Skarbrand is kicked out of our new player tournaments, and that makes me sad, because I like watching Skarbrand's games. Boo. But yes, Skarbrand is promoted to Bone Ripper. Alright. No more fun Skarbrand for us. He has to play in normal events with normal people. But enough moping, back to video games! Hayseed versus Contrarian Codex. A Famir rush with Throg leading it versus, I don't know, some lizards. Some stinky, smelly lizards. Lizards are, like, real talk, real life lizards are actually really stinky. I don't know if you've actually held many lizards in your life, but they smell so bad. What do we got here? For Norska, it's 5 Marauder Hunters with Javelins, 1 regular Marauder, a bunch of Famir, some with Great Open, some without, a Famir Balefiend of Fire with Burning Head, Cascading Fire Cloak, and Flaming Sword of Ruin, and Throg. Just Throg. He's got his Vomit. He's got Fight or Die. Cool. On the other side, we have Ripperdactyl Riders, 4 the Lizardmen, 1 of which is Clawston Hunters. Chameleon Skinks, Saurus Spears mixed in with Skink cohorts. We do have Lord Mazdamundi on his toilet seat, as someone noted. Feral Bastillodon, I name you Terrence. Net Apotheosis for Mazda, and then we have Pokapak cohort. I haven't seen you guys since Warhammer 2. What do they even do? Do they just have ITP? I think they just have ITP Vanguard and slightly higher stats. Whatever. I'm playing as Terrence. So Norska's moving up. The Famir is standing awkwardly, waiting to get in range of Terrence with his club tail. Off to the left, we can see some Chameleon Skinks getting into a fight with Famir. The Chameleon Skinks will lose that pretty bad, but I guess it's distracting the Famir for a while, so it's okay. Terrence is going in deep, charges through some of the Famir, makes them regret fucking with him, but there comes Throg. No! No, Terrence! Not like this! Throg's chasing him down. An unholy amount of javelins are coming for poor Terrence. No! He's crying out in pain and shock. Mazda, do something! The Saurus front line is trying to hold for now in the background as the Famir run into them. Now, without Marauder support, these Famir could actually have some issues. Terrence is rampaging. That means I can't watch him, but I can still watch him in spirit. So Terrence is doing fine. Terrence is doing okay. There's a banishment from Mazdamundi. Meanwhile, the Clawston Hunters get intercepted by Famir Warriors with great weapons. Terrence? He's doing okay. He's down to half HP, but I'm not concerned. I'm not worried at all. Ripperdactyls are sitting above. We need some more action from them. More actions per minute, but Throg leaves them alone. Yes, this is how we win. This is our victory conditions if Throg forgets about Terrence for a brief moment. Saurus front line is falling apart. Famir don't seem to care too much about these Saurus warriors, even though they are spears. The Famir are still trucking through them and even going after Mazda, as Terrence is so busy rampaging he can't even realize that his lord is in danger and he needs his help. Are you still rampaging, or can I hop back on? Yeah, I can hop back on. Fuck yeah! We're back, baby! Throg is also back, though, just as we have rekindled our interest in Terrence. So has Throg. Ripperdactyl's trying to snipe out the back line and get rid of some of these javelin throwers, and the Pokapak cohort getting an isolated fight with, it looks like some Famir. But we got knocked off of Terrence again, which means that's his second rampage, folks. Don't worry, it's just a second rampage. He's not dead yet, but man, it's getting close. Mazda's sitting back here with some skink cohorts. Both sides are diving each other's backline. Norska got through the front way. Ripperdactyls went up and over the top, and Pokapak are just running things over. But that's whatever. Terrence is getting bonked, my dudes. He is a little bit, but it's okay. We still believe in him. His Burning Head comes out of the Famir caster, just try to get rid of some of these skink cohorts and lower the leadership enough for these other things to get rid of them. Probably going to fight back soon, and soon that rampage is going to wear off and we can hop back on, which we're going to do as soon as possible. Go! Alright, we're back, baby. We're back! Dude, why as soon as I get on Terrence does Throg remember he exists? It's actually starting to piss me off. Stop it. Stop it, you big dumb asshole. He routes, so we can't watch Terrence anymore. Ruination of Cities goes through the only Marauders on the whole field, because Marauder Hunters' Javelins don't count, and Terrence dies because Throg is a poopy butthead. Alright, sticking with our commitment, we will watch Terrence's dead body. Throg lurks over him, thinks about eating it, then runs off as the last of the Famir are gathering under the Troll King. In the distance, we have a full health Saurus Spear chasing around Famir that doesn't seem like it's going to fully work out, but who am I to judge? And the Pokapak are helping clean up some stuff. The fight's getting awfully far away from Terrence's body. That's upsetting. It's getting pretty far away, but I can't leave my boy. So we're just going to have to cast it from a distance. So Ripperdactyls is just trying to run off Marauder Hunters with javelins. Meanwhile, Mazda's throwing something behind him. It's a bound banishment. Yes, it goes through the Marauders, so he's doing good work there. He's doing his best. Saurus Warriors are very far away from their leader. I don't know if they'll be that helpful in the rest of this fight to come, as the Pokapak cohort definitely can't be chasing these Marauder Hunters. They are needed elsewhere, my friends. As a Burning Head is going to go through the ranks, but how's Mazda doing on health? He's at 4,700. He's chilling. He's doing okay. Oh! Oh, he's gone! Where is he? Where did he go, Terrence? I understand now. Terrence's body faded, but his soul remains. We're free now, my friends. Terrence is everywhere. Terrence is with all of us. So I can cast anywhere. Premier warriors marching forward under the banner of Throg, Troll King. Mazda's just running away, occasionally casting spells as he runs. Terrence went to hell. Oh, wow. You and I had very different takes on what happened there. Overcasted net. Gonna keep Mazda safe and alive. Seriously, Pot cohort and these Riperdactyls need to come back here. This is too aggressive. Mazda is in serious danger, and you are the only ones that can save him. That was cold-blooded. The real Terrence is the friends we made along the way. Sir Catbeard. That's good. Contrarian Codex also coming in with the good riffs. We're doing good. Both sides are just kind of rallying up right now, so I'm memeing around and messing with chat a bit. Mazda's going to get pursued by the Premier. They might get a couple of rear attacks on him, but that's not really going to be the key here. The key is this upcoming fight. The Lizardmen are getting a good surround going. The Pakopok cohort maybe overextending a little bit. Don't want to be here before their infantry are ready, so they're going to back off. But this is it. If the Famir has another Burning Head that can go down the line of these Saurus and Skinks, then I think maybe Norska can clutch it out. But if they're forced to fight on top of Saurus Spears with Pakopok cohort rear charging them, that's going to be a big problem. Decent Burning Head. Good clump they're being punished. Not going down the way I would have expected it, but like it was still a good cast, so those Skinks are going to run. Looks like another one's going to run soon too. Throg and the Famir are fighting back-to-back. Throg is full HP, throws out Fight or Die. Increased stats, but I think he mostly really just needs the leadership right now. Some of his Famir were actually thinking about running away. Remember Baleffiend fighting it out. Riperdactyl's getting nice and low, and where are the cohort? Half HP and chilling off to one side. Do need to charge in soon, as Riperdactyls are going to opt out. Mazda Mundi opts in. And in come the Velociraptors. I think Norska is probably doomed at this point. Balance of power is 50-50, but I don't know. Pakopok cohort can probably kill off these Famir, then it's just Throg, and Throg all alone versus Saurus Spears and Pakopok cohort isn't going to be great, right? Then again, I do think Coldbone Spear Riders are terrible, so maybe they just suck and die. Who knows? That Famir has 0 leadership, and it's fighting back against Mazda, kind of whooping him. And Throg even turns attention too. He's going for Mazda. No, Throg, not like this! You already killed Terrence, what else do you want? Mazda chucks out a net, just keep Throg away from him for a hot second while the Saurus Spears continue to chew up those Famir guys. The Famir thingy, the Balefiend, that's what he is. Riperdactyls run off more Famir, Pakopok order in, but there's a big ol' Burning Head down. The Saurus Warriors almost going to get rid of them, but they managed to hold for now, just as the Famir Warriors route? Yes. It is Throg and the Balefiend versus the world, and the world has Apotheosis, which is healing. Healing is strong. See a bunch of green dots behind me on the mini-map. Only one of them is actually rallied. Throg, how many vomits do you have left? 2. Alright, you might want to use one of those while you're out of combat here, buddy. Turns to fight instead. Like, there's no way he does it this late in the game, but if he has another Burning Head, that would be clutch. Fight or die to keep the Famir Balefiend in here, but now, it's now or never. That Burning Head needs to come out or you're going to die. He's using Cascading Fire Cloak, which makes me think he doesn't have the Winds of Magic for a Burning Head. Not that I blame him. Like I said, I doubted he did. But I understand it. So Throg, getting all the stats juiced. 85? Something, but it faded already. Anyway, 74 melee defense is he's holding for now, but the Premier Balefiend is going to get messed up. Throg is stuck in here, and he's done some good damage to lots of different people, but I don't know if he can win it. We will see. As another Apotheosis comes out for something. Don't know what. Is it for the Saurus Spears? Yeah, that's actually huge. Buffing up the Saurus Spears is smart. There's that constant anti-large, high leadership unit. Poke down Throg. Struggling to find his feet. Angry Velociraptors surrounding him. Oh! Alright. He woke up and shows violence. Dude, look at how surrounded he is. Look at him. You can hardly even see the Throg in the pile of Lizardmen bodies. he wins this, I'm going to be so surprised. Marauder Hunter Javelins are here. They're throwing in. Could there be a mass rout? Could it happen? In comes these. These should cause some people to rout, because under missile fire is a leadership debuff. Oh, they held for now. If one of these guys breaks, so many are going to break. It's going to be a chain rout, but can Throg even hold that long? Moss is just sitting over here like a jag. There's Throg's healing cap. His leadership is the one faltering now. He's going to get rear charge. That could be the end of old Throg. -2 leadership. He pops up to 14 because of fight or die. He chooses to fight. He'll never die. Claw Hunters are in with their Toad Rampage, though. That's a lot of damage. Throg's taking too much. He is going to break any second now, and still nothing routs as fight or die wears off. Throg will rout, and the Lizardmen leadership is higher than the High Elves. It's higher than the Dwarves. He just won't. He won't stop. Ain't no way Throg grinds this out. You'd be surprised. Throg is a legend. Not as cool as Terrence, but he's pretty cool. Friggin' Saurus leadership. Alright, I'll play the clip. Hey! Stupid mouse. Mouse died again.
The sticks are next to the clubs. Hate Saurus. I hate them. I hate their lizard faces. I hate their clubs. I hate their sticks. I hate when the sticks are next to the clubs. And I hate when the clubs are next to the sticks. I hate that Krokgar pulls 2280 of them out of his scaly asshole and then descends on me like a Vogan at a poetry convention. I hate the Saurus auto-resolve meter. I hate it because it lies to me. It says I have a 50 chance of victory. This is patently false because I have 20 units of spearmen who are held together with faith and steel. I do not have 20 units of 8-foot-tall geckos constructed out of pectoral muscles and galvanized coffin nails. I hate that they shout Bok at me. Bok is the Bristol Orienteering Club, which is completely irrelevant to a battle in Lustria and should not be shouted repeatedly while eating a rank of Tier 1 infantry like buffalo wings. I hate their morale. I hate that surrounding them simply prompts one of them to pull out a US general's helmet so he can make a speech about, now we can attack in any direction. I hate that their reaction to a devastating rear attack is to become somewhat peeved. I have looked a Saurus in his smug, scaly face as an encirclement that would shatter any other early-game infantry closed in. He went from angry to excited, killed an extra 200 spearmen because I had foolishly allowed all 4 sides of the Saurus unit to fight at once and then swallowed my bright wizard like a Slim Jim. I have resolved to shoot every Saurus dead. Every Saurus. All of the Sawmen and the Sordran too. I hate them. I no longer see battlefields because they're covered by a thick blanket of gunfire trails. I hate that it barely stops them. I hate that they keep coming while shouting about the Bristol Orienteering Club, or the Bank of Oklahoma, or the 1983 Bok asteroid. I hate that they made me Google Bok so I could write down ways in which I hate things that have it as a name. Bok is also a lunar crater and a Martian crater. It is also a village in Iran. The IATA code for Brookings Airport is Bok. I will never go there because it would give me palpitations. I hate that Krokgar is friends with the rare Pepe next door, who also declares war once I've shot Krokgar unconscious for the 10th time. He also has Saurus, only these ones are blue. Somehow this is worse. I hate that there are another 10 lizard factions. I hate that they will be an end game by the time I reach them. I hate that while I was writing this, Krokgar picked up Franz and smoked him like a cigar. I hate Saurus.
All right, so he hates Saurus. I think we gathered that. So we're to the next game. It has nothing to do with Saurus. We have Pride versus somebody. I forgot who. I know this is Pride. I forgot who else. Because that was really cool looking. Anyway, Exalted Keeper Secrets of Ballet of Blows popping in on a pavane of Slanesh rampaged Wild Riders who are stuck fighting Hellstriders. And somehow Hellflayers have survived Vanguard flank from the early part of the game. So for the Wood Elves, we have Orion, King of the Wild Hunt, a Spellsinger of Life with Awakening the Wood and Earthblood, and then a lot of infantry, War Dancers, Eternal Guard, all of the good stuff. We have some Deepwood Scouts in here getting some damage out too. What up, Shiggy Diggy? Bok for Terrence. Sisters of the Thorn are pushed off, though, by a clever combination of Chaos Furies of Slaanesh and Hellstriders, chasing off that actually very elite and expensive units. That is a good start here for Slaanesh. The Hawk's Talon from Orion's going to do a lot of damage to the Devoted Marauders of Hellscourges. And the Slaanesh frontline is getting plastered by the Wood Elf frontline. It's not even close. Now, I get a little worried for Slaanesh in the late game. If you have this extremely expensive, squishy Lord like this, and then expensive and squishy Furies, Orion is going to make mincemeat out of them, and he'll just have the best day of his entire life. And he will have infantry support, which, in case you haven't heard that several times during this stream, having infantry support is important. Infantry alone can't win you the game in most cases, but having the ability to fight on friendly infantry rather than in enemy infantry decides the battle for the things that actually do matter, right? Fighting 1v1 is a lot harder than fighting on top of your own troops. Exalted Keeper's Secrets does take a brief fight with Orion. It looks like it went well for her as long as she had her charge bonus and she backs off, so that's pretty good micro from the Slaanesh player. We like that a lot. While the Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows on his War Shrine is busy trying to drain down all of these Wood Elf units, and an Eternal Guard is even rampaged into it. Orion gets rampaged too, but he's like, listen, I was already going for the right target, so rampage me all you want. I'm still coming for that ass. Deepwood Scouts are still alive somehow in the distance, as is the Forest Dragon. Orion's in there though, and he's killing fools. He's doing great, stabbing, maiming his way through the enemy. Chaos Sorcerer of Slaanesh with the Shadows, still doing damage. How recharged are you? Yeah, Giver of Torturous Glory is fully charged, so that Mortis Engine is up and at him. And the Wood Elf Dragon, realizing it was just getting harassed by Furies down, decides to take one charge on the Exalted Keeper's Secrets and at least get something done with its life. Balance of power is exactly even, and we do have a very close game on our hands. I honestly think Slaanesh is in some trouble, but I do think the game is quite even. I just like what the Wood Elves still have alive a lot more. Firebark Elders are spooky, Orion's spooky, you still have the caster, you're chilling. The Wood Elf Infantry got massacred before our very eyes, though, and that is something worth noting. Slaanesh cleaned up pretty good. Orion's still going to be concerning, however, and the Forest Dragon is back. Does it have any breath attacks left? Show me the breath attacks. 1. Use it on the Exalted Keeper's Secrets. Use it on the Exalted Keeper's Secrets. Get that couple of Exalted Keeper's Secrets. No, he's using it on the War Shrine. Also a good target, but just not the favorite target I would have had. That boy's going to rout, and Orion dives straight onto the Exalted Keeper of Secrets, not allowing it to get away, and actually it does have some slight healing of stuff around it as low leadership, so the Firebark Elders reducing its healing is nice. Orion can chase after it, and he has plenty of ammo, and I think he has Firewall moving, so if he chases it, he'll just be constantly chucking javelins at the back of its head. But it looks like instead he is just going to go for the javelin throws at a distance, try and harass that thing down as the Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows rallies. Still have a Hellflayer, still have some Chaos Furies. That's largely it. As this Hellstrider of Slaanesh with Hysterical Frenzy dives in. Really high melee attack, and its armor piercing is getting buffed, but I think it literally has 0. No, it has 7 armor piercing weapon strength, so there's a bit of a buff there, but not too much. 4 Furies taking out a dragon? Yeah. It's pretty Chad. So Slaanesh is just trying to clean up some last things here. There's a Forest Dragon they need to take out. They're running down some other various Wood Elves for more army passive. Meanwhile, Orion is chilling, and the Life Caster is casting heals whenever it is needed. Orion still has 6 ammunition. This ammo is really strong. What is that? Is that a Rampage? It's a Fascination. Tier 3 army ability. The Rampage is nice onto Orion, but I don't think it does that much damage to a single entity. I kind of would have preferred that to be cast in the War Dancers to just finish them off, or the Firebark Elders, I guess, for a little bit more damage, but Orion just gets Rampage into fighting what he wanted to fight anyway, and a Ballet of Blows is popped really early from this Slaanesh caster. Oh, she's trying to get it up to its maximum level before she charges in at all. I guess I get that. There we go. It upgrades. She immediately rampages the Life Caster and tries to charge her. She's a foot character, and foot elven characters are some of the hardest things to hit in this entire game, while Orion is constantly spearing her in the back. She knocks away the Elf Caster yet again. There's the final tier of Ballet of Blows. So much melee attack, so much damage, all going to waste because the Firebark Elders got here to defend the Mage of Life. And the Mage of Life, of course, just bounced around, avoiding all of the damage. Now Orion is just constantly chucking spears. As Slaanesh delays, they die a little bit more. Orion at 2 shots left. Exalted Keeper of Secrets trying to get away from him. I just want to see one of these harpoons land. Thunk. 300 HP off the top. War Dancers rally to kill off some Devoted Marauders, but they're going to get run down by Hellstriders, so they'll die in a second. Bap. Bap, bap, bap. Kind of an unfortunate charge angle. They actually might rally and do okay. Might is a key word in there. Another Seductive Glory rampage onto the Firebark Elders and the caster while Orion sits around fighting Hellflayers. He does kill one off, and that should trigger the other one to soon go into Demonic Stability crumbling. While the Hellstriders kill off War Dancers, and I didn't mean to click over here, so that was just a whoopsie. Sorcerer of Shadows is gone. Chaos Fury is tearing apart the Firebark Elders. Their Supreme Armor Piercing coming in clutch. Did you just summon an Awakening of the Wood on the Keepers? That is Chad. That is some serious energy right there. I love that. It didn't do any damage, because of course it fucking didn't, but that's a funny thing to do to a person. Just summon an Awakening of the Wood on their single entity. This lady's trying to heal up off the Firebark Elders routing, but it's not going to be nearly enough to save her from the Wrath of Orion. In fact, nothing can save her from the Wrath of Orion, because nothing on this battlefield left for Slaanesh can deal with Orion. She chucks down Ballet of Blows. Oh, she's trying to charge up. This is her last attempt at victory, is to turn around and fight Orion once her buff is fully completed. There's the tier 2. Might go after the caster for a little bit, but I imagine once it goes into tier 3, she's probably going to charge Orion. Alright, you got a turn. No, don't use Ballet of Blows on a routing, dude. 2 seconds left before it goes into tier 3. Alright, you gotta go. No, you're using Ballet of Blows just on chasing a routing unit, but what about Orion? Once the routing unit's done, you're gonna have to face Orion. Now you'll fight him without the buff. No, Exalted Keeper, why? I know you're still trying to heal, it's just not that much healing. I'm gonna times 2 speed for a second. There's a rampage onto Orion, it just rampages into hitting her, and then Army Losses takes her out. And the Firebark Elders even rally just to middle finger you. Good game between Pride and Shoxy. Very good game, actually. Super close. Loved it. Loved it. Pride really seems to like Forest Dragon. Shoxy getting the most value out of Hellstriders I've seen in a long, long time. Actually got a lot of value out of everything. Even the Hellflayers didn't do that bad. So good job, Shoxy. Okay, that is misleading. So there's a game called Shoxy versus Orion, which it's 2 players named Shoxy and Orion. But up here is Pride playing Orion versus Shoxy. So that's fucked up. Shouldn't do that. Alright, 2 games left. I'll do Corrin versus whatever Slayer nonsense that is last. So we'll do this. Shoxy and Orion. And then the Slayers. And then the stream will be done for the day. Rikarth versus the Beastmen. He is the Beast Master. So he should be good at this. Uh-oh. Vanguard problems. Beastman Centaur Core is locked up in Dark Riders, Dark Rider Pier crossbows, and Rikarth is nearby on his dragon, but can the Dark Elves collapse in time to actually get these Beastmen? Elsewhere, we have 2 Reaper Bolt Throwers, Siren Dread Ruin, a bunch of Dread Spears, Rikarth on his dragon, and a Sorceress of Dark with Soul Stealer and Power of Darkness. The Beastmen are actually going to collapse on this area first. Rikarth is now coming, but already 2 of the Dark Riders are pushed off, and the other Centaurs are escaping where they need to. For the Beastmen, we do have Centaurs all over the dang place. 8 of them on the battlefield total, some with Great Open, some with Throwing Axes, some without. We have Malagor, Chaff frontline, and 2 Minotaurs in the back. Already, one of the Centaurs just suicide charges in to push the Dark Elves off their Reaper Bolt Throwers. Get some good damage in while they go. Throwing Axes are being a bit of a nuisance. He has no Centaurmen, so Beastmen so Ricardo has no power here. I see, I see. Alright, the Dark Riders are mostly all routed off, and now Rikarth is alone in the woods fighting Beastmen in the woods, which they all have woodsmen, so they don't take penalties for fighting in the woods like Rikarth does. He's going to have to try and get out of here. Beastmen still collapsing everywhere for the Dark Elves. Nowhere is safe. No Bok, no party. It's probably true. Beast Slaver is popped, giving Rikarth some more damage, but he's just getting throwing axed in the face, surrounded by Minotaurs, and beaten into the dirt. Malagor's diving some Dark Rod Peter Crossbows in the back while Minotaurs try and get over here. Peter Crossbows are going to run away. They should outrun the Minotaurs just fine. Without Centaurs nearby, there's nothing fast enough to really catch them. Rikarth is surrounded and beaten down fiercely. Thanks, Lil Trill. And yeah, no camera. For some reason, it's been lagging a lot recently, where, like, as the stream goes on, it falls further and further behind, and that's just annoying. Ungor Herds finishing off the Reaper Bolt Throwers. Overall, the Dark Elves are in disarray, and the Siren Ruin is not nearly going to be enough to carry this whole game home. We're at 2.5 minutes in. The balance of power is getting dangerously low for the Dark Elves already. That'll probably BGG here. Sundered Rune tries to fire uphill. Not going to get too much out of it. Rikarth actually manages to get out of the surround, so he's not going to die. Malagor's not chasing him off the map either, so he should rally in a second. There we go. Malagor's turning towards him. He's not in range, though, and Rikarth does rally. Malagor, do you realize that he's come back? Walks into him. We'll take the full might of Brachus. And then he flies away. There you go. That's a good boy. There is no hope. Isn't that that's Lord of the Rings? Is that Eowyn who says that? There is no hope. There's always hope. But not in this one. Not in this one. This one's the Siren Drone trying to fire downhill into the Centaurs at this point, just trying to do anything. She holds her position atop the tower. Centaurs swarm over the field. And how is that bar not army losses? There it is. It was looking pretty army losses, but then bar just wouldn't give up. Rip in peace, Rikarth. Not a lot of value for the Dark Elf side. Swift overrun by the Beastmen forces. What up, Edwin? Entering our last game of a very strange series of builds. Teeny tiny little itty bitty armies. Teeny tiny little itty bitty. Skarbrand versus Versok. That is Malachi, Gotrek, Felix, and Slayers. Just all the Slayers versus Skarbrand. Valkia, Karadak, 5 Bloodletters, 2 of which are Exalted. Skullcrusher ROR, Knights of the Brazen Throne, 2 Chaos Furies, and a Blood Shrine. Alrighty, for the Dwarves, the Slayer Rush, we have Doomseekers in the woods. As I mentioned, Felix, Gotrek, Slayer Pirates, including Long Drong Slayer Pirates, Double Goblin Hewers, Regular Slayers, and Malachi. Based Witch Hunter correcting my erroneous quote. Shicky Diggy, fighting the fight we've all been fighting this entire stream. The Doomseekers are found, and they are run down by the Knights of the Brazen Throne. Doomseekers do have good armor piercing and whatnot, and of course they're unbreakable, but they still won't enjoy this fight as they are going to take a lot of damage. Gotrek and Felix thinking they can maybe sally forth and do something to help the Doomseekers. They cannot. They should get back to the main formation. It doesn't look like they're going to. As Chaos Furies go after the Goblin Hewers. I want to see the Goblin Hewer fire. And they don't get to. Alright, dude, alright. Chaos Furies of Khorne are dying, but they've stopped the Goblin Hewer for quite a while. Now these guys are trying to fire. Throwing out their little axes, doing some decent damage to the Bloodletters of Khorne here and there. Some of the Chaos Furies and Bloodletters are starting to fade away. In the distance, Gotrek and Felix did manage to join the fight against the Knights of the Brazen Throne. And the Doomseekers are holding, so now that the charge is worn off, all of a sudden the Knights of the Brazen Throne are taking decent damage back. So that's going okay. And Slayers. Just constant Slayers. Goblin Hewer crews, all Slayers. Regular Slayers are diving back in. More of Khorne is starting to fade away as we have 2 Bloodletters here just about ready to die. Fighting pirates. It's the freaking throne Blood Shrine of Khorne is going through. Blood Shrine's the only thing keeping these Bloodletters from demonic stability crumbling right now. As Karanak and Valkia hunt down Malachi, who is desperately calling for Gotrek and Felix to do their damn job, and Gotrek did not. But will he? Yes, yeah, probably, maybe. In comes a Fleshhound summon from Karanak, and immediately they charge into the Doomseekers and Felix, trying to hold those guys back while they keep trying to snipe out Malachi. Trying is a key word there. But yeah, dwarves are mostly dead. Most of the unbreakable units are gone. Nothing can rout, so just know that 425 dwarves have lost their lives this day. And Karanak goes hunting Malachi? Oh, okay, I thought that was Gotrek for a second. I was like, damn, dude. I don't think you just hunt down Gotrek Gurnison. Gotrek Gurnison! Malachi got next to Felix, so he will get a bit of healing from hanging out next to Felix. Karanak's taking some damage here and there. And Gotrek's just trying to make his way through. He's getting nom-nom-dom by a Fleshhound summon that will fade away in 30 seconds. Karanak keeps getting good shots down. Meanwhile, I mean, like, everything else is dying for the dwarves. These Slayers down to 2 models. Slayers down to 1 model. Longdrong Slayer Pirates, 2 models, down to 1. It's just the Hero Hammer. Army losses will take Felix. So less healing for the dwarves. Malachi's dead, and that is GG. Who wins? Dwarf Slayers or Wood Elf Dancers? War Dancers are better combatants than Slayers. Like, that's just a fact. Is there any matchup where full Slayers is even slightly good? No. No. Full Slayers is just too... It's too meme. Even versus Slaanesh, it's just kind of like whatever. Aye. Also, if you're a metagamer, you would have known that Scarbrand won the entire tournament, so that he never lost, so then you know that this build didn't lose, but I didn't mention that till after the game, because if you weren't paying attention, then spoilers. Gotrek and Felix being separated from Malachi in the main formation for so long was pretty brutal. So was the Doomseeker flank, so that was just unfortunately a bit of a whoopsie. Versus Ogres, it can be okay, but then Noblars are going to do really, really well. Yeah. Alright, that's GG. How long have we been streaming? About 3 hours? Not bad. It's not a bad stream. Alright, I got all these replays to go through and make videos out of. So I'm going to go do that today. Goodbye? Yeah, goodbye. Yeah, get out of here. Yeah, goodbye.